Laredo, take us out.
Take her out.
All right! Take flight each and every Friday night. Join the fun and let's go off-world. Geek out with us live where the nerdiness will thrive. Buckle up and let's go off-world. Toys, comics, pop culture news, movies and so much more. Matthew, Jesse, Curtis, and Sean are your guides on this fun-filled tour. Take flight each and every Friday night. Join the fun and let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Hey, hey, hey. Let's go off-world tonight.
Woohoo! It's OffWorld. Hello, everybody. I'm Curtis Ackerman. With me is the beautifully luscious-haired Jesse Arnold. Jesse, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing just dandy. How are you tonight, Curtis?
Fantastic. And we've got host of the Joe Gonzalez Show coming to you for multiple podcast and YouTube shows throughout the week that he just takes over. Joe Gonzalez. How you doing, Joe?
I'm very good, very good. I learned from the best, Curtis. So I saw how you got famous, and so
Yeah.
I'm trying to follow up on that. But
That works.
I'm doing really well.
We are going to be without Sean tonight. He had something pop up and is not going to be able to make it. We're supposed to have the Dooch, and he was actually on early. He was on about 30 minutes ahead of time, which usually I'm on by myself for about 20 minutes or so. Just sitting here, just preparing, kind of doing like the 8 mile, like what if you had one chance, one opportunity, kind of thing. But Dooch jumped in and he was getting prepared, and then all of a sudden he started to have some leaking in his basement. So he is checking on that right now, and we may or may not get the Dooch. We have picked up the bat phone and we called out to the 2.0 squad. We may get somebody to pick up that red phone and slide down the bat pole and come in. But until then, it's us three. So here we are. How's your week going, guys? Anything exciting happening?
I've been working a lot, so I worked 60 hours already, and I got one more day to go.
Oh,
so,
all right.
Yeah, it's just been one of those work weeks. So not really anything terribly exciting. I got some cool stuff to show off when we get
Beautiful.
to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second.
That I'm excited about.
Beautiful. What about you, Jesse? You got anything exciting going on?
I don't know about, not to get all down, but yeah, some sad stuff going on in the world of my comic shop this week. One of the owners who's been running the store for 36 years has passed away the other day. So I don't know if I'd call that exciting, but that's kind of the big thing that's been on my mind since Wednesday night. But and other news, I'm just prepping for MesquiCon and looking forward to getting out there and hanging out with you, Curtis, and everyone else that's going to be there.
Yeah, sorry to hear about your loss there. That really sucks. I saw some posts this week, and I didn't know the gentleman, but it sounds like pretty big loss for folks, and sound like it was kind of sudden from what I was seeing. And yeah, that's never fun. But like you said, on a more positive note, we are getting ready for MesquiCon. We're going to have that Midwest mythic meetup, and so it'll be nice to see folks. It's been too long. I know you just had SoloCon not too long ago and got to see some folks out there, but I'm jonesing. It's been a little bit since Legion's Con, and I'm in need of a, kind of hanging out with some like-minded folks. Cool. Well, I had an interesting day today. So just kind of update everybody on my plumbing situation. So had an issue back it was right after Christmas, like the 28th of December. And, had some water back up in my kitchen, didn't know what was going on, had a plumber out, they couldn't fix it, had another plumber out, they couldn't fix it. Turned out that our line coming from the house was disconnected from the main sewer line. And so they had to dig out in my yard and they had to fix that. And then when they fixed that, they said there was also a hole in a pipe that runs underneath my living room floor. And I was like, oh no, that's not good. And they said at the time, based on where the hole was in the pipe, that they couldn't put a liner in, which I'm not a plumber, but apparently they put this liner on the inside to cover up a hole. And then they use some sort of heat UV or something and solidify it and whatever, it fixes it without having to kind of tear down to that pipe and all that kind of stuff. But based on placement, they said they couldn't do that. So we had to file an insurance claim because we got to get, the plumbing thing, and we got to get the laminate floors replaced because there's some water damage. It was just a whole thing, like thousands of dollars. First estimate came in like $21,000, and insurance only covered up to like 13, I think. So it was, we ended up getting it down to like 16,000, but it's still going to cost a couple out of pocket. But anyway, so the guys show up today after months of waiting, and we got the insurance check in, we got it deposited, talked to the guys, scheduled it. They come today to fix the plumbing. And they say, hey, we know we told you that we couldn't do a liner in it, but we're going to try it. And so they tried the liner first and it didn't work. And then they're like, okay, we're going to have to tear through the floor. So they create this like 4x4 area on the floor that they start with the jackhammer, like jackhammering the floor. Right. And the guy gets it cracked open, and then he gets ready to start taking a chunk of cement out of the floor, and he kind of steps on it, and the thing just like sinks, like he basically almost falls into a hole, because underneath our slab floor there was no dirt. There was no dirt underneath of it. It was just like hollow, because apparently the hole that was in the pipe had been there for many years before we even bought the house. And I guess like throughout time, like dirt would go into the pipe, and then as we would take showers or flush toilets or whatever, it would shoot the dirt out into the sewer line, and then more dirt would get in the pipe, and they would shoot it out, and then more dirt would get it, till the point where there was no dirt around the pipe anymore, and it's basically just this big sinkhole underneath our floor. So luckily we didn't have some sort of accident where the floor gave in and we fell into it or something. But yeah, it's a good thing that the liner didn't actually work, because otherwise we wouldn't have known that we had that issue with the, around it. So they got it fixed. They got it filled up with dirt and rock and stuff. And they'll be out Tuesday or Wednesday next week to cement it. And then from there, we got to redo the laminate floors and stuff. But that was pretty much my whole day today, was just watching these guys, play around in my hole. So, which, I mean, it's a good size hole, but I really I didn't know that I could get one guy in there, much less two. I had two guys in my hole, and it was, yeah. So, but yeah, it was interesting. So there's my plumbing situation.
That's super unfortunate. I've had to do a lot of plumbing I do my own plumbing, which stinks sometimes, quite literally. And,
yeah.
I had a freezeless faucet break under the ground, and the same kind of thing, except it wasn't my house, thankfully, but about a 12-foot section of my yard caved in because the water was leaking underground, and I didn't know it. So yeah, I those are unfortunate circumstances for sure. So
Yeah, but
Sorry
I mean,
to hear that, Kurt.
the
It's
good,
really
the good
important.
news is though, the pipe is fixed, which means that for the first time in 3 months, we can flush toilet paper. Yay! Which,
That's
you know,
good.
we did put
Welcome
But you
back to
don't
the
bidets.
use
first
that
world.
anymore anyway, right? You're
Well, we
using
put
bidets now.
bidets in all the bathrooms, but you still have to, you know, you got to dry things off, and sometimes the bidet doesn't get it all clean in the first go. So you got to give it a couple tries. But we were having to whatever toilet paper we used, we were having to bag up, like in like the doggy poop bags that you follow your dog around the neighborhood with. We were having to tie our toilet paper in those and put it in a bucket and then empty the bucket each day. So it was not fun. So being able to actually flush is pretty good. Bidet is treating me excellent, Van. Thank you very much. Yeah, really appreciate it. But it is nice to just be able to, when I do have some toilet paper, just to flush it on down. So the first step is done, and now the next step would be to cement it, and then we get new flooring, and that's where it's going to get a little interesting, because everything behind me you see here has got to come out of this room. So I've got to move all of these detofs, which means I'm probably going to have to take all the figures out, pull everything out of this room, have them do the floor, bring it all back in, set it all back up. But I'm taking it as a positive. I'm taking it as an opportunity to, you know, maybe repose some things, to dust off everything, get a nice cleaning inside my detofs. And I've got this curio cabinet over here that was for my Mondos. But I've never really liked it. It's not the best because there's just first of all, it's not super tall, and it's got some sections on it that kind of blocks anything in there so you can't see it. So we're getting rid of that. And I think I'm going to get on the other side of the room, I'm going to get some Billy bookcases, the real tall ones, like 93 inches or something, that like wraps around the corner, for my non-mythic stuff. So my Mondos, G.I. Joe, all that kind of stuff. So we're taking this as an opportunity to kind of revamp the collection a little bit, clean everything, get it reorganized, and kind of go from there. So that's my long
put a
boring
positive
story.
spin on it.
Yeah.
I
did. So you guys probably saw my X-Men display that I put together not too long ago. I actually had that down here in this room, but when we decided we were going to, you know, have to take everything up for the flooring and we were going to kind of do some different things, I decided to move that all upstairs. So I did that yesterday and dusted everything off and set it up, put some new poses on things. So yeah, I mean, those, you can kind of make that into a plaything too. You know, cleaning can become a playtime. So that's what I was trying to do.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of playtime and toys, what do we got this week? Anybody? Well, I know Joe said he's got some stuff, so let's put Joe up in the top spot and let's see what you got, Joe.
Okay. Well, one of the things, Jesse, is it okay if I show off what you sent me?
I mean, yeah, just make sure you. I mean, I didn't just send it to you; you paid for it.
Well, yeah, that is true. So, but I got this.
All right.
Picture.
I mean, is it nudie
Super
pictures
cool.
of Jesse? Okay.
Not pictures of Jesse, but Jesse's
okay.
quite the artist. So I got this right before we went live. So Jesse was nice enough that since I paid for it, he sent me a Skull Man, and I'm very excited to keep the collection complete. So thrilled about that. So that's very nice of you. Thank you, Jesse.
So I know you're a completist, Joe, and they've said that these things, the Demistros and this one, are not technically part of the line, but in your head you still have to have it. Is that what you're saying?
So at this point, it's 4 Horsemen completist. Anything that the Horsemen come out with now, I'm gonna buy it and get it.
Okay.
it kind of, well, you know, my collection started with Seventh Kingdom. So I was actually filling out the Seventh Kingdom line when I found Mythic Legions, originally the first wave. So everything they make is so great. I want it. And nowadays I can afford it, so I get it. So it's fun.
There you go.
And, but yeah,
That's
I'll
a good
be
thing about
anything that
getting
the
older
Horsemen-
is you can buy better toys.
That's some things have improved in my life that have allowed me to do so. So it's a very enjoyable part of my life. And speaking of Four Horsemen, I got my second Poxus order. So got another Disney princess wizard.
Okay.
She's so attractive that it makes me uncomfortable to look at an action figure and have her look that good. It just shouldn't happen that way, but you know. Got another Tharnog.
Beauty.
Nice.
Another weapons pack. And I know I had something in mind when I ordered this, but it was 2 years ago, so I don't remember why. Hopefully that'll come back to me at some point.
Got to take some better notes.
Yeah, really, no doubt. And then, of course, I had to get an extra dragon just because there's, you know, he's so awesome.
Because of the wonderful things he does.
Oh, he's gonna. And then there was this nice little note from the Four Horsemen reminding me that it's wintertime and that my figures are cold and giving very detailed instructions how I should warm them up and how to loosen the joints and things like that. So this is nice. I appreciate that very much. Oh, and then, give me a second. I need a bigger desk if I'm going to be showing off toys. This is a toy adjacent pickup for me. I bought a little soldering station for customizing.
Interesting.
I saw this on Amazon and I just thought it was neat. The alligator clamps have little rubber booties on them so that I think I can have it hold resin parts without damaging them. And it's got a little magnifying glass and stuff. So I've been busy and haven't been able to customize lately, but I'm really itching to get back into it. So thought maybe if I bought this, that would give me a little extra incentive to get going on that again. And then my last pickup, I showed this off a little bit online, but I got the TV series Fleet Com Warthog, which comes with Cortana and the unhelmeted Master Chief that all the game purists hate, and Silver Team. I don't know. It's just a really cool set, and I'm excited to have it. It's something I've really been looking forward to. It went up on Amazon and sold out right away, and I've been checking every day, and finally it popped back up at retail price, so I snagged it.
Oh, nice.
So I'm super jazzed to add that to my collection.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. You know, we've been talking a lot Halo series, and we just did the Wednesday win shot on Jesse's personal YouTube channel, the Just Shelve It channel. For anybody that didn't know that that's Jesse's channel. So that we did that, and I actually saw today a good friend of Shooting the Shelf, Jesse Fire Rising. He had done a picture of Master Chief, I think it's the 1,000 Toys one, and he got Halo the series actually commented on his picture, telling him that he did a great job. Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Awesome.
I mean, imagine that you're you're a photographer like shooting one of these characters, and then this series actually comments on it. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
He did some great
It was
work.
an amazing picture.
Oh yeah,
looks so good.
He was on the Trevor's Photobomb show this month, and they showed some of his work, and him and Trevor had picked out a bunch of accounts that they thought did really well in February, and it was a really great show. So, all right. With that, Jesse, do you have some things to show?
I have two things. One, I picked up my final pre-order through the local Uncle Bob's toy store, but while I was there, I collect Raphael stuff, and I moved my Raph stuff over here. But I found this little guy.
Oh,
from the what was it? The one where they fight like all the stone monsters. I can't remember the first CGI movie they put out in like 2007 or whatever. So he's only like 2 inches tall. So I got him for my Raphael shelf, which is now there. And then last Hoxus pre-order I had with Uncle Bob's, because hopefully the rest of my the stand is not the most stable. Got Kalzir the Djinn from the Poxus wave, and I got him doing like a floating pose as his lamp just fell over at the bottom. But
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is.
Awesome. This is a gorgeous figure. Glad to finally have him in hand.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you see the new Mezco turtles?
I've seen pictures of them, and I really wanted to order them when they put them up last year, but I just $400 for a set. I don't think it's bad. I think they're totally worth it. But no, I
well, this is a different set, isn't it? Isn't there the new? I thought there was another one, because I thought the first one, the first one,
the one where
they
they're
like
in
all,
disguise, isn't it? That the trench coat?
well, the first one I thought they were all similar skin tone, weren't they? And then because the one I just saw this week, they were all different colors, like they are kind of like in the cartoon and stuff.
That was the 4-pack they announced last year. They just started shipping recently.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I guess I didn't.
They
realize
had
that they were.
There's a
colors
5-point of articulation one where they're all in the red bandanas with like swappable arms and stuff, which is a lot lower price point. But I think they're only like 3 or 4 inch figures, and I think they're only like the 5 POA. So
gotcha. Okay. All right. My turn.
Yes.
All right. All right. So first thing I guess I'll start with Joe's. So this is a Dr. Mindbender, which I showed a couple weeks back, but I did make a modification on this where I got this trench coat from a Marvel Legends Nick Fury to put on this to kind of upgrade his look, because the soft goods that comes with the classified Mindbender, I think they're not good. They're terrible. Like the seams just really look ugly. It's floppy. So I think this just looks a lot better. I was actually looking on the forums to like find something about taking the rub on the shoulders off, because that cloak, I guess they dyed it or something, the one that came with him. And so it left some marks on people's shoulders. And I was actually looking at that. And when I was in the forums, somebody had suggested this as an upgrade, and I loved it. So pick that up. I think that's a nice little piece.
So would you call them soft bads instead of soft goods?
Yeah, normally I would say a lot of times I like
Thank you, Joe.
the soft goods now better than I do the rubberized soft goods. I don't know what do you call it, the rubber goods. But this one is more like that plasticky, rubbery feel, but it looks really good. It's got nice shape to it. I like the way it looks a lot better. Then I got my own after Sean's been talking about it for weeks. I got my own Joe Gonzalez figure. So there's my bazooka. Upgraded him a little bit with the effect from the Hiss Fire team so that he's actually launching his bazooka. I saw that. I think I stole that from Stephen Bisciotti. So yeah, I think that looks really cool like that. Yeah, so he's a neat figure, and I actually had it sitting in my box for a while, but Sean just kept talking about Joe Gonzalez, and I'm like, I got to open that one. And then this
I've never looked so good.
Yeah. So I bought this is the first time that I bought classified figures in a different version that I already had. And basically had the Baroness. I shown this one before. This is the retro style Baroness. Then I've got the Crimson Twins. You know, I got these. I think this is one of the ones that started because I picked one of these up at Ross and one at Amazon for like super cheap. But they've also got the red versions of these, the crimson versions. And it's like a set of 3. It was like $90 on Hasbro Pulse. Well, right now it's like $62.99. They marked it way down. And first off, it comes in this amazing case, which I don't have with me because I'm stupid and not a good show person, because I should have brought it here. But the case is basically like Destro's briefcase. So you open it up and it's got like a computer background on it, and it's got like the gold bars and stuff there, like Destro's briefcase has. So that's really cool. And then it's got the 3 figures, and I just love these. Like, it is, you know, I mean, the original, the retro Baroness is cool, but like this one in red is just awesome. She's got 2 different sets of glasses. She got 2 different sets of hair, 3 different faces. I went with the windswept hair. She's got this like snake that you can wrap around her arm or leg. That's super cool. So yeah, she's awesome. And then the twins, you got Zaymot. So like here he is compared to like the blue version, which, I mean, the blue version is cool, but I don't know, man, something about red and black, you know, it's just a cool color scheme. And then you throw in that gold in there too. Plus it's got the stands that have their names on it. And then this is Tomax. Right. So yeah. So, I mean, I've wanted this set for a while, but I didn't want to spend $90 on it. But for 62, you know, you're basically like, you know, $20 a piece for these, and you get the case and all these extra things. Like, yeah, it was too good to pass up. So that's the Joes that I've got for this week. And then this one's kind of a custom. So there's this, I'll just show it first. This is a Red Hood that I put together. They do not make a Mayfix Red Hood, which is one of my favorite DC characters. But I had seen some people, there's this head and chest logo that's a third-party seller, sells it on eBay. And there's a lot of people using that to make their own Red Hoods. And what a lot of people were doing is using the T2 Terminator 2 body from Mayfix and then putting that on it. And I did that, and it looked okay, but I didn't like that it was just the all black look. So I actually painted his jacket, which it's a little hard to see here. Let me get another light on this and see if it shows. But I painted his jacket to where, you know, it's kind of got more of that brown leather look to it. And then I gave him like the red zipper lines and stuff. So yeah, I mean, all in all, this took me maybe a couple hours to put together. And now I've got a Mayfix Red Hood to go with my Nightwing and my Batman. So pretty excited about that. And then the guns were actually from the McFarlane weapons pack. And then I just painted them up. So yeah, pretty quick custom, but I absolutely love it. So
yeah, it looks really good.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, and that is everything that I've opened this week. I do have my second Poxus order is on the way. I got the all in, but my second Poxus order is on the way. It apparently went out on the very last day of Poxus shipping. So I'm hoping that it gets here before I leave for MuskeeCon, because I've got some figures I need to bring Jesse from that. So hopefully that arrives.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I don't want to hear about you having to ship it.
Right. Well, no, I wouldn't complain about shipping it, but I just want to get it to you.
I've been talking into my soda bottle instead of my microphone for this whole time.
That's cool. That's cool. And then I don't know about you. I
wondered
guys.
why you sounded like caffeine. So.
Yeah. This ISS sale, dude, it's got me. Like I placed my 4th order today. I can't stop. Like I took time on Saturday, right? Because I was like, I didn't want the pin set. So when the first Saturday hit and this thing came down, I looked at it and I took my time. It took about 15, 20 minutes. and put together what I thought was going to be my definitive order. And then I think a couple days later, I go, you know what? I need some more of X, Y, and Z. And I placed a second order. And then I heard Dorclair and Trevor and them talking on the Legion's Lounge, and I put together a third order. And then today I was working on a custom, and I needed the parts from the Vampire Phalanx. And I used that, and then I was like, oh shoot, I've only got one of this vampire, and I didn't order any extras. So I went in today and ordered like 4 more of those, and I was like, well, while I'm in here, I'm already placing an order. I may as well get an extra troll, because you never know when you're going to be able to get a troll at this price. So yeah, Jeremy said that sale is ending Sunday night / Monday morning, and I need it to end because I just keep going back and buying more. I need to stop. So.
Yeah. So I've placed 3 orders, and if I wasn't working so much, I'm going to place a 4th one. Probably Sunday. Yeah. There's every time I think like, that's enough. And then it's not, I'm the same way. I get in my own head. I'm like the opposite. And instead of trying to talk myself out of it, I'm trying to talk myself into it. Like, yeah, you could use a few more. You could. If you don't get them at this price, you're gonna regret it.
Right. Well, as a customizer, like if there's ever a time that you are gonna go overboard on buying, this is the time to do it. Because it's $26 figures. If you overbuy on an all-star wave or a regular, like a G-Con wave or something, at minimum you're paying $37 a figure. So like if you're gonna overbuy, this is the time to overbuy as a customizer. So yeah, it needs to end. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with all these figures when they come in. So
that's a problem for me as well. I finally got organized, and I'm not organized anymore. I have boxes stacked in front of my TV and stuff like that. So yeah. When I finally get some time off, I'm gonna have to kick one of the kids out. Probably something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Time to move out. I need room for my toys.
Yep. Time to go. You had your
there's the dude.
What's up, guys?
Is everything flooded?
No, I caught in time. So
okay.
So yeah, I was actually here early.
I told them that.
Curtis still beat me, but I was here. I was making sure everything was good to go.
But that's just because I was doing the whole mom spaghetti thing,
Yeah.
So.
And then I turn around. I went to go get a drink, and my son's room is right behind me. And I see a puddle right inside my son's door. So of course I'm like, oh, fucking cats, And I go in there, and it's like a line. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, wait, what were the cats doing?
He thought the cat peed.
I thought they peed.
They didn't.
The lights were off. I just saw through the door. I just saw, you just see water in the dark. And I'm like, or a puddle. And so I'm like, had been the cats. And I go in there, and there's just a line extending across his room. So, but yeah, because he's right on an outside wall, and it's been raining here hard all day long. And we never really had a winter. We had like one good freeze. So like this ground is just soaked. So yeah.
I gotcha. I thought maybe you were, having some more pipe problems.
No, that hasn't reared its ugly head again yet, but
that's good.
It'll come.
No, we just
a little bit of rainwater.
We just did our pickups for the week. Do you have any toys you would like to show?
I ain't got shit.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So do we want to move on to our main discussion then?
Sure. I got this thing.
Do you?
Yeah.
So yes. So as most people who looked at the thumbnail know, today we are talking about choose your own adventure books.
Now, Dooch, I did find out before this that Joe does not have any experience with these types of books. So you may have to
so we got
just kind of break it down a little bit for him.
Well, that's good because I actually have a history of choose your own adventure books.
All right.
So,
All right.
So Choose Your Own Adventure. This is a series of children's game books where each story is written from a second-person point of view, with the reader assuming the role of the protagonist and making choices that determine the main character's action and the plot's outcome. The series was based upon a concept created by Edward Packard and originally published by Vermont Crossroads Press as the Adventures of You series, starting with Packard's Sugarcane Island in 1976. That Sugarcane Island is actually based on a story he would tell his kids at night, like a bedtime story. And at the end of each night, he'd present them with a decision. You can either go this way or you can go that way. And his kids would decide. And then the next night, the story would pick up based on which way they chose. So the actual Choose Your Own Adventure, which I'm sure we all knew, that was the most popular iteration of these. That was published by Bantam Books and was one of the most popular children's series during the 80s and 90s, selling more than 250 million copies between 79 and 98. That brand is now owned by Choose Co., who continues publishing to this date. So what are you, Joe, we've already let the cat out of the bag, but Curtis, Jesse, what are your experiences with Choose Your Own Adventure books?
I will let Jesse go first.
I always died.
Horrifically?
I think whatever choice I made, like the adventure always ended like after the second choice. Like I never got very far. So I kind of hate these books.
All right.
Jesse is Dirk from Dragon's Lair, huh?
Yeah, that's there were horrific deaths. There was some where you were done in like 3 choices, and you're like, well, son of a bitch.
Well,
you gotta push that. You said 3 choices when I said 2. Like, all right, thanks. Just rub that in.
Yep, I made it at least 3 every time.
I've got the He-Man and the Memory Stone now. Which is a Ladybird book, and I think it's the only one that was an adventure style.
Yep.
But I did not have that as a kid. I actually only had one Choose Your Adventure book as a kid, which I got from the Scholastic Bookmobile, which many of you may remember. Your parents giving you, $3, $4, $5 and sending you off to school, and you got to go in there and pick out whatever you want. And one time I went in there and I found this guy, which is The Untold Legend of Batman, which is a Batman Choose Your Adventure book.
Nice.
And that is the only one that I ever had. I didn't even know this was like a genre of books. I thought it was just kind of a unique thing at the time to this Batman. I loved it. I must have went through it, several different times just to see, what all different outcomes it would have and stuff. But I kind of imagine that, the like choosing the different paths and how you're making the decision and it's about you. It's kind of like, maybe like a mini D&D kind of thing, I kind of feel like Dungeons and Dragons is that way. Like the choices that you make dictate the outcomes. And
it's funny.
I really like it.
It's funny you mentioned that because one of my favorite ones that I had as a kid, and I haven't been able to find it, but it was actually a Dungeons and Dragons Choose Your Own Adventure book. And I remember it famously had a rust monster on the front, and that I got at the same thing. I got at I think it was actually a library sale, where they sold the older books. But like I had that long before I even knew what Dungeons and Dragons was. I'm just like, number one, I love Choose Your Own Adventure. I've read a ton of these. I would always check them out, get them at the book fair, wherever I could. And then I saw this cool monster on the front. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a badass one. And it was. And that one actually had, if I recall correctly, it actually had What I know now is like a D20, but it was like a page of the book that you cut out and you folded it because you would have to roll. And they're assuming that not everybody that picked up this book would just have a D20, on hand, which I didn't. I didn't even know what it is at the time.
So you made your own D20 out of it?
Right. Like that was
That's
a
funny.
part of the book. Like,
Man, that's a lot of work to put into reading.
I loved reading.
You got to make your own origami dice, and you got to pick what's going to happen and read. Like,
And in that one, there was actually some where you did like battle, and then the dice roll would decide. Like it was even out of you. Like it wasn't even choose your own adventure. Like in D&D, it's the die chooses your adventure. So
I totally would have loaded that die. Whatever was opposite of the 20, I would have taped a penny to it. Hell yeah.
Well,
Joe will win no matter what. So
losing doesn't feel good.
excuse me. So we're actually going right now. I could have picked up a picture of them. But so I've got two books.
Okay.
That we're going to go through and actually play through one of them.
Okay.
And we're going to let the chat decide right now. So we've got either the Cave of Time or we've got Dinosaur Island. So sound off in the chat whether you want us to play through Cave of Time or Dinosaur Island. So we'll go through, we'll vote as the four of us. And if there's a tie on to which path to take, we're going to throw it to the chat as well. So you guys are going to help us choose our adventure tonight.
Yeah, all three of you out there in YouTube land.
Hey, we got 8.
How many of those are us?
I'm only on StreamYard, so no,
Okay.
I'm not.
just
there.
drop to 6.
Joe's probably got.
They're like, you're gonna make us do work? Oh, we're out of here. We're going to Legion's chat.
Nobody wants that.
No one is commenting.
No one
We're
is
still live.
Did we get pulled?
Hello, is this thing on?
Did Edward Packard just throw a cease and desist? Let me throw the book covers up here, see if this will help anyone
pronounced
decide.
Packard.
So we've got Dinosaur Island.
Not showing it. There
I'm
we go.
working on it. God damn. I'm patient. Dinosaur Island. That is number 138 in the Choose Your Own Adventure series.
Wow. There's a
and
lot
then,
of these.
Yeah. And then we've got, I hit the wrong button.
Well, now we've got 2 people that voted, and they each voted for the opposite one. So we're back where we started.
And then we've got, I got too many tabs open. We got the Cave of Time, and this is Choose Your Own Adventure number 1.
Okay. I mean, we got 2 for Dinosaur Island. I would say Dinosaur Island 2, because I'm guessing that these things got better as they went, and I think the number 1 probably isn't the best. So,
or they just started churning them out towards the end, but
maybe. I don't know. We got more votes for the dinosaur, and now we got
a Cave of Time.
Now we got even again. If we get to vote, I would vote the dinosaur one.
Okay, Jesse.
Yeah, Cave of Time for me.
Jesse,
there's
tied again.
Guys with medieval weapons on the cover and a monster. I'm not sure what time period that monster's from, but I want to find out.
Back to dinosaurs.
Right, well, you will not, because Jesse was the tiebreaker and he said Dinosaur Island.
Well, you didn't vote.
I am abstaining so that we keep it an odd number.
Okay. I was hoping we'd get back to even. We wouldn't have to do it at all. No.
All right.
Speaking of taco burritos, Taco Bell has the chicken enchiladas back. So that was good. I had that last night. Thank you very much.
All right.
Also, if you head over to Legion's chat right now, you can decide what kind of bicycle that Walter will be buying next and what kind of taco he'll be eating. All right.
All right, Dinosaur Island by Edward Packard. I also got to wonder, because he's credited for the majority of these, and I got to wonder if he actually wrote them or if they were just like, just keep throwing Ed's name on there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Dinosaur Island. Okay. Warning! Do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures you may have after landing on a remote island in the South Pacific. From time to time, as you read along, you will be asked to make a choice. The adventures you have are the results of your choices. You are responsible because you choose. After you make your decision, follow the instructions to find out what happens to you next. On the island of the dinosaurs, the only rule is survival of the fittest. Your greatest adventure among these colossal creatures is your human brain, and you'd better be prepared to use it. Otherwise, you may be the one who winds up extinct. Good luck.
I can
feel like
confirm
we've
that
made
if
the
you
wrong
try to
choice.
read these from start to finish, it gets really weird.
Yes.
It makes zero sense. All right. Hey now.
All right. You've been having a lot of fun being an exchange student in Australia for the past year. Now it's almost time to go home, and you and some of the other kids from your school are on your last scuba diving trip to the Great Barrier Reef. Exploring the strange coral world beneath the sea is a little like visiting another planet. After an exciting day at sea, Nancy Wilson, your dive instructor, and some of the other kids are standing at the rail of your boat as it heads back to the mainland. You notice a plume of smoke on the horizon and point it out to the others. That's coming from Kieran Island, Nancy says, from the volcano. Have you ever been there? You ask her. She shakes her head. It's supposed to be very beautiful, filled with rare plants and trees. The island never got developed, though. It has no harbors, just coral and sand beaches all the way around. Who lives there? Go on to page 2. Practically no one. The last evacuated years ago. That smoke should tell you why. They say it's just a matter of time before that volcano blows. And when it does, it could happen fast. I just remembered I have read this one before, and I remember one of the endings. I wish I could visit the island, you say. It would be cool to see an active volcano close up. No chance, Nancy says. A scientific foundation called the LeBeau Institute bought it. It's off limits to everyone else. They're doing experiments with genetics or something.
Or something. Very specific.
This is a long intro to this one, too. Oh, I got to figure out a way for one of you guys to read some of this. The plume of smoke is soon out of sight, and you give no further thought to Kieran Island until a week later when you're preparing to return home. You're watching the news on television one evening when the newscaster says, investigators have learned that scientists at the LeBeau Institute on Kieran Island have made a breakthrough in their efforts to clone dinosaur cells. Wow, they just come out and say it. It may take years more research, but if you're patient, someday you may get to see a real dinosaur. The newscaster smiles and shakes his head as if he doesn't really believe what he's just said. You don't know whether to believe it either. The next day, you ask your science teacher, Mrs. Glass, whether dinosaur cells really could be cloned. I guess you heard that news story last night, she says. Well, the answer is yes, in theory. It could be done by extracting the DNA from dinosaur blood. But how could you do that? Of course, there's no blood left in any dinosaur fossils. The DNA would have to be taken from veins of amber. So we're just completely ripping off Jurassic Park here.
Well, I believe this probably came before Jurassic Park.
Nope, I just looked it up.
I was hoping.
Oh, okay.
This was 93?
Also, or
yeah.
So same year.
The movie, Jurassic Park, the book, came out a long time before that.
That's true.
Also, our science teacher is married to a supervillain.
Glass. Yeah.
I want to know who put the dinosaur DNA inside amber.
Did they have consent?
That's a different kind of book there, Curtis.
Gotcha.
Amber, how does it get there, you ask?
Amber asked that?
No, we asked that.
Oh, okay.
She grins.
First of all, sorry.
continue.
No, go ahead. Jump on in. I can take a
What
break.
kids are freaking watching the news when they're in Australia on an exchange program?
Dude, this was
nerd.
This was 93. They didn't have internet. They didn't have
The same kind of kids that are reading a choose your adventure book. It's 93. You've got video games, you got DVDs, and people they're like, I'm gonna read a choose your adventure book.
DVDs, man, not in my world.
Okay.
Not in 93.
Not 93. No,
We're
that's what I'm
starting to
saying.
come out then, weren't they?
They might. I'm just saying they weren't in my world.
You
Like,
gotcha.
I didn't know. Yeah. Anyway, continue.
I don't think they were. Look up when the DVDs started coming out, Jesse. I'll keep reading. Mosquitoes. A mosquito bites a dinosaur and sips its blood. Haven't you seen Jurassic Park? Then it alights on some sticky sap oozing out of a tree. It can't escape and is later compressed by dirt and rocks. The hardened substance is called amber. The DNA from the dinosaur's blood is preserved within it. Then what happens, you ask Mrs. Glass? Millions of years pass. The shape of the land changes. The amber is found in rocks that become exposed, she says. And somebody can make a real live dinosaur from that? It wouldn't be easy, but it could be done, your teacher says. There's a good chance that someday someone will make a dinosaur. It sounds awfully far-fetched to me. Well, I must say I tend to agree with you, she says. But remember that before we had computers or VCRs or Curtis had his DVDs, they would have seemed far-fetched too. Turn to page 11.
1996.
Thank you. That still is earlier than I would have guessed, but
And that was in
sounds more
Japan.
accurate. This one I was also going a while before we actually have a choice here.
We had
which
to
is
turn
unusual.
the page without even making a choice yet.
Yeah.
I've never
Seems
made
weird.
it this far into a choose your own adventure.
That
Yeah,
seems
this-
weird. You would think you would keep reading until the first choice and then turn pages. But okay.
Yeah. Well, they want to make it a little bit. I also find it interesting that these are like half pages, and then they have you turn to another page that is another half page. Like
I think they were just drunk when they were making these at this point.
they're like, we just need to add more pages.
Well, if we can do more half pages, then it makes it look like it's a full book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You soon forget all about dinosaurs as you finish up your year in Australia. You've had fun, but you're excited about heading home. You and two friends from America, Kira Bolin and Todd Harris, have reserved seats together on the plane. You okay with those names, Jesse? Or
I just continue. Just I don't know. It feels like we're committing to characters that aren't going to make it very far.
it depends on what choices you make. You're a little worried though. A lot of flights have been canceled lately because of exceptional sunspot activity. Most scientists say that solar storms of this kind are just part of a cycle that happens every once in a while. However, they admit that this may be the worst in hundreds of years. The sunspots have been sending tremendous bursts of cosmic rays into space, causing beautiful aurora displays at night, but also making television images turn into waving, fluttery lines and interfering with electrification systems. As we're about to get on a plane.
I also had television images that were wavy and fluttery, but that was when I was trying to watch the nudie channel. So
Definitely didn't have them while I was flying on a plane in the mid 90s.
no.
It would have made the plane ride go faster though. Turn to page 50.
I think I saw a
This
nipple.
feels like a different sci-fi movie now. Dinosaurs and sunspots?
Yeah.
How did this?
Yeah,
feel?
this is like
Right.
2012.
Yeah, he actually didn't get a choose your adventure book. He just got a flip the page all over book. There's no
Apparently.
choosing anything. Yeah.
I did not read through any of this beforehand because I wanted to, keep it fresh. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we should have picked the Curse of Time or whatever that was called.
Cave of Time.
Guys, if there comes a choice where
The
we can
sequels are
trust
never as good
Newman
as the
or not,
originals.
we don't trust Newman. So
Come on, load up already.
Oh
Well, that
no,
was
it's
the
the
show.
wavy lines caused by the sunspots.
Yes,
They're
that's what it
interfering
is.
with our book.
it's messing with the YouTubes.
Right up until which one's us? Do you think are we the dark hair or are we
Jesse's in the middle
the
because
light?
I had my hand on his ass earlier.
You
So
realize that the
Jesse's
one that had the
Kira.
hand on the ass and the one that had the ass were both girls in that picture, right?
I'm cool with that.
We're
It makes
We're
it
not-
better, actually.
we're not prejudiced like you are, Jesse. Here, 1 second.
He's choosing his home adventure right now. Do you want to fix the plumbing or do you want to watch the kids? These are the choices. I will the cat pee too. You got to pick which one. Are you going to take care of the cat pee, the plumbing issue, or the kids?
No, they just got
At some
home and
point,
they were
it's all the
asking
same
me
problem.
what's going on in there. So
Oh, thought you were just doing your own life. Choose your adventure.
yeah, I would make different choices now. Right up until the last minute, you're not sure whether your flight will take off or not. You, Kira, and Todd, sitting in the last row of the plane, give a little cheer as the wheels leave the ground. We're happy to be going up when the sunspots are messing with navigation systems. We are dumb. The plane has only been in flight for a few minutes, however, when an announcement comes from the pilot. There's reported turbulence ahead, he says. We want to give you folks a nice, smooth ride, so we're altering course to avoid it. As a precaution, though, please keep your seatbelts securely fastened. Seconds later, the plane hits an air pocket and drops like a rock. Your small waterproof is out of your hand. You decide to strap it to your wrist. Sorry about that, folks, the pilot says over the intercom. Yes, it is, Curtis. Things should be smoother ahead, but unfortunately, we're experiencing an electrical problem. Navigation's out, and so is the radio, so we're returning to the airport. No need to worry, we have plenty of fuel. For a moment, you feel relieved. Then the plane hits another wild patch of air. You're wrenched savagely to one side, and your seatbelt digs into your stomach. The plane sinks, then rises dizzily, then sinks again. People gasp. Someone lets out a scream. It was probably Jesse.
Is it a Wilhelm
back
scream?
to
So now
page
we still have
6.
not made a choice, and we're going back from page 50 all the way back to page 6.
Correct.
Was this guy on crack? Yeah, we haven't made one choice yet. All we're doing is flipping back and forth in the book.
This was a lot of setup.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like we're getting there, though.
There's no reason for it, though.
Flip your own adventure.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't think there's a single choice in this book. I think it's just flipping back and forth until you finish the story.
But this feels like this is turning into like Mystery Science Theater, the book edition.
That's exactly what I was hoping it
Crack.
would be. The plane continues to lose altitude.
Read page 7.
For a couple of minutes, there's no further word from the cockpit. Then the pilot comes back on the intercom. Tighten seatbelts. Assume bracing position. Do not inflate life vests, he says. You look out the window. You're going down. Are you trying to block the other page, Jesse?
Yeah, we're watching the end.
Yeah,
We're reading the end.
I'm trying not to read the last page.
Your head snaps forward and hits the seat in front of you. A wing dips into the waves, splitting the side of the plane wide open only a row ahead of you. Then the whole front of the plane plunges down. The tail section, with you, Todd, and Kira still strapped in your seats, lurches back, exposing the sky in front of you. Water pours in like Niagara Falls. The whole front of the plane is already beneath the waves. You unbuckle your seatbelt and dive to get free. A wave breaks over you and you go under. When you come up, the part of the plane you are in has already sunk. Someone calls to you. It's Todd. You swim toward him. Kira is with him. They've got hold of the life raft that we weren't supposed to inflate. The three of you haul yourselves into it. Amazingly, our waterproof camera is still strapped to our wrist. Well, that was good luck.
Turn to another page.
People just died.
Choice. Yeah. Like, shouldn't there have been a choice to not get on this stupid plane? Like,
I'm sorry. Were we not in the back row of the plane, but the
Correct.
wing ripped off one row ahead of us?
No, the wing hit the waves and in the row ahead of us. That was the fracture point. I'm not flipping back to the page, so that's what we're going with.
Okay.
78, and we have a choice at the end of this one.
Too bad we saw the final page already.
Hey, there's like 50 different endings. You don't know which ending that was. You're too stunned to talk as you gaze at the horrible sight around you. An oil slick and some scattered debris are the only signs that your plane ever existed. There doesn't appear to be a single other survivor. When you pulled yourselves together over the loss of hundreds of people, you and your friends poke around to see what supplies are in the raft.
Mm-hmm.
You find drinking water and emergency rations, paddles, a 6-foot mast, and a small triangular sail. You start unfurling the sail. Wait, Todd says. We don't want to sail anywhere. Search planes will be looking for us. We ought to stay as close to where we crashed as possible. I don't think so, Kira says. Our plane had changed course and the radio was out. Search planes won't know where to look. Besides, the sunspots have knocked out navigation systems. We can't be that far from land. If we sail west, we'll get there. It's better than just sitting here. You're supposed to stay with the wreck, Todd argues. It's a basic rule of survival. Kira turns to you. It looks like you have the deciding vote. What do you think we should do? If you vote for staying near the crash site, turn to page 109. If you vote for sailing to the mainland, turn to page 8.
I'm looking for Steph Orkin's luggage to get some crack.
Crack.
Chat, feel free to chime in on your decision too. 109 or 8. Staying at the crash site, 109. Going to the mainland, 8. Joe, where are we going?
So the plane sunk and everyone died.
Yes,
but
we're fine. We pulled ourselves together. We're fine.
If we stay near the crash site, we'll drown because it's under the freaking water. So my vote, and keep in mind, I make bad decisions in real life, so I might not be the best person to decide. But my vote is to sail to the mainland.
Okay, mainland from Joe. Curtis.
Well, in my experience in management, I've had to do many stupid team building exercises, including several with these types of scenarios, where they say that you're supposed to, with a crash or a wreckage or something, and they say, according to the Coast Guard, and their hidden agendas, you're supposed to stay as near the wreckage as possible and try to work on survival and signaling rather than leave the wreckage. Okay. That being said, there is an oil slick scattered around, and we don't know what's going on with these sunspots. I don't want to burn and drown. That's just like two terrible things. So I guess I'm going to go with Joe. As much as I think you're supposed to stay near the crash site, I think we start sailing.
All right, we got 2 for sailing. Jesse.
Well, fortunately, Curtis just talked himself out of getting killed and eaten like Todd. Back to the mainland.
All right, we're going to mainland. Page 8.
Crack.
All right. I agree with Kira, you say. It can't be more than 100 miles to the mainland. We should be able to make it in a day or so if we get a good wind. I guess the majority rules, Todd says with a shrug. You hoist the sail, and the raft begins moving quickly over the waves. You look back at the area around the crash site, but all that's left to see are a thin slick of oil and a few pieces of floating debris marking the spot. The rest of the day passes uneventfully. There's enough food and water on board to last about a week, and you're sure you'll reach land long before that. When darkness falls, the 3 of you agree to take turns steering the raft and keeping watch.
Oh, Todd's going to get us killed.
You're awakened by Todd at dawn the next morning. Bad news, he says. You sit up and look around. A dense fog has closed in. The wind has dropped, and the sail is flopping back and forth as the raft bobs in the waves.
Just like Todd's penis.
I'm not very familiar with that delicacy. You peer out into the grayness, then lean over the side and swish your hand through the water. It feels quite warm.
Peer into the gayness. What?
The heck I do.
95 we're going to. Oh.
So we've made one choice so far.
Yes.
Okay. Because you've been reading for like 4 hours.
If we keep going, apparently we're going to meet somebody named Rosanna.
Yeah.
Maybe she was back at the site. I don't know.
There's no site. It's just the ocean.
Maybe
We're
there's
technically
fog.
still in the crash site.
Maybe there's fog because we're near shore, you say. Have you heard any breakers? Nope, Todd says. It says there's nothing to do. I guess I'll try to get some sleep.
Whoa. Sorry. What's a breaker?
I assume like breaking waves like against the rocks. Like
Okay.
I thought that was a
Against the shoreline?
CB radio.
Has anybody
thing.
heard that term before?
Breaker.
Yes.
What is, and is he right? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
see. Jesse encountered them on his worldly travels. So, so Todd got us lost in the fog, and now he's just gonna go to sleep because there's fog. We're also gonna go to sleep. Apparently, we curl up beside the others in the bottom of the raft and drift back to sleep. So everyone's sleeping as it drifts through the fog. That's the next sensation you have is one of rising in the air. You sit up and see that the raft is on the crest of a breaker. You're only a few dozen yards off a beach. There's a great roar of water, and the three of you are tossed into the sea. You go under and come up just as another breaker is bearing down. You dive through it, surface again, and swim hard for the beach. When you reach it, you spot Kira nearby, struggling in the wash. You give her a hand, and the two of you make it up into dry sand. Todd is already ashore. "Where's our life raft?" he yells. You see it for a second in the trough of the sea, drifting down the coast. It's lost, and all your supplies with it, unless it washes ashore. This is Jesse's fault. We should have stayed. Wait, what did it say? 16? Yeah, 16.
I'm sorry.
No,
Todd
no
is a
kind of
moron, and
Yeah.
I made sure breakers are actually just big waves.
Okay.
Mm.
There we go.
No
the-
supplies, but I bet
Wait.
Todd's got a toe kick.
God damn it. The beach is bathed in golden light from the sun, which is just about to rise. The view inland is blocked by high bluffs running along the coast. I hope the island is inhabited, Kira says. An island this size has got to be, Todd says. Maybe not, you say, pointing. Look at that smoke. I bet this is Kirin Island. The one that's too dangerous for people, Todd says. That's right, except for the scientists of the LeBeau Institute. I'm sure they have a helicopter that can take them out of here in a hurry. If the volcano hasn't blown for decades, I don't think it will just because we landed here, Todd says. Look, Kira exclaims suddenly. You look where she's pointing. A boat is racing by. 3 men are standing in it. 2 are armed with machine guns, and the third is holding a bazooka.
What?
If you duck down to keep out of their sight, turn to page 34. If you try to get their attention, turn to page 91. Jesse, you're up first this time.
If there's no reason for dudes with machine guns and a bazooka to be riding around in a boat, I am ducking out of sight.
Okay, Curtis?
I mean, I think both choices are stupid because if they're close enough that I can see that they're holding machine guns and a bazooka, then they're also close enough that they should be seeing us. So ducking out of sight at this point is too late, and trying to get their attention with people that are armed just going around in this place that we have no idea where we're at doesn't seem like a great idea either. But I guess duck down and try to keep out of sight, even though I don't think we're going to be successful.
All right. Joe?
I feel like these choices are kind of limited. So, I mean, I don't like Todd, so I'd tell him to go check it out, and then I would hide. Like, you would get their attention and then jump behind some rocks.
Yeah.
Maybe I could kill two
Yeah,
birds with
Todd,
one
you get their
stone.
attention and we'll hide over here.
Actually,
Oh, no,
like
I wouldn't
this
tell them we were hiding.
So,
I got your back.
gotcha.
Todd just turns around and everybody's gone. Oh.
Todd gets picked off with a bazooka.
The bazooka is what gets me. I thought they might be hunting dinosaurs if they had machine guns, but a bazooka? Like what are you hunting that you need a bazooka specifically? Or device to shoot rocket propelled grenades. I think I would hide that situation.
Maybe it's not the weapon. Maybe it's like the G.I. Joe character bazooka.
It is bazooka. It's bazooka and two other guys.
Yeah. If that's the case,
Two
I'm
guys
already
with a
on the
machine
boat.
gun and one guy's holding a GI Joe toy.
He's got the
Right.
I'm like,
All right,
hey,
so-
that's me. Rescue me. Look at the
It
mustache.
sounds like we are trying to duck down.
Yes, we are.
So we're gonna go 34. You duck behind a small dune. Get down, you tell the others. They obey and the boat goes by. Todd looks at you angrily. Why did you do that? They could have rescued us. Or arrested us,
I
or
hate Tom so
worse.
much.
Why would they arrest us?
Didn't you see those weapons? Todd shakes his head. That was dumb. We're on a strange tropical island with no food and no supplies. If we're not willing to take a chance with whoever controls the island, how do you expect to be rescued? I wish I hadn't listened to you. Stop arguing, Kira says. We've got to decide what to do. But we don't have a decision here. We're just turning to page 46.
Yeah, we don't have to decide what to do. We just have to read some more.
For the rest of the day, you stay close to the beach, hoping a more friendly boat will pass by. You
Can
find
we
a
just jump to page 47? There's a lot of choices there.
That is some good ones. You find a freshwater spring and nibble on some strange-looking fruit from a nearby tree. Late in the day, what?
Nothing.
Okay. Late in the day, a whistle sounds from the bluff overhanging the beach. You look up and see two people, a rugged-looking young man with several days' growth of beard and an athletic-looking woman about the same age. They're both wearing khaki shorts and carrying lightweight backpacks. Your first impulse is to run, but then you see that they are armed only with binoculars and cameras. They walk along the top of the bluff and then climb down a gully where the slope is not so steep. You step forward to meet them. Where did you kids come from? The man asks. Our plane crashed, Todd says. I think we were the only survivors. You know, because we didn't see anyone else surface ever. How awful, the woman says. But come with us. Hurry. They're patrolling this island by boat. If they spot you, you're dead.
It's a good thing we didn't get their attention.
Yeah, Todd. Freaking asshole.
However, these two are just walking around. So You, Kira, and Todd follow the pair up the gully to the bluff above it. From the top, you have a clear view of a semi-wooded plain with the cone-shaped volcano beyond it. The plume of the smoke is still coming out the top. You turn back to the strangers. Who are you, you say, and who were those men in the patrol boat? I'm Arturo Scarlatti, and this is my colleague, Rosanna Gallo. I'm a zoologist, and Rosanna is a geologist. We landed in a sabercraft, a fast little boat that you can bring right up on the beach. We hid it in a creek that runs into the ocean about a half mile from here. The three of you introduce yourselves and tell them about your escape from the plane crash. But why are you here, you ask Arturo? I said that we're scientists, and that's true. But we are also spying. Spying? How come? The LeBeau Institute is breeding dinosaurs on this island. You're kidding, you say, even though you've seen the news stories that were public about it. Not at all. We've seen a number of them. You gaze off at the tree-dotted plain, which is on page 79.
No choice.
No choice. If you're looking for the
Oh my God, I
dinosaurs,
thought we had a choice.
Nope. It's wrong page.
79. If you're looking for the dinosaurs, don't worry, Arturo says. There's an electrified fence separating the dinosaur reserve from the rest of the island. So as long as the electricity doesn't go out through a freak storm, then we'll be all right.
Yeah, that would never happen.
No.
Never.
I'd like to see the dinosaurs, but more than that, I want to get home. That won't be easy. Claude LeBeau, who runs the Institute, is planning to make a movie about the dinosaurs. He expects it to make $1 billion in worldwide sales if no film or videotape gets out ahead of time. That's why he's doing everything in secret and has armed boats patrolling the island. And that's why if he catches you, he'll kill you. It would be an easy crime to conceal. Everyone would assume you were lost in the plane crash. He'd really do that?
$1 billion.
He's the most ruthless man I've ever met. But what about the volcano? We heard it might blow at any time. And it might. In fact, that's what LeBeau is counting on. All the dinosaurs will be killed, and there will be no record left of them except the film footage that he and his crew take with them when the volcano erupts. He'll have a monopoly on the film and make a fortune. It's funny, though, they did predict the plot of the second Jurassic World, so that's interesting. LeBeau sounds crazy. How many dinosaurs are on this island anyway? And we'll find out on page 22.
Man, it'd be crazy if somebody snuck out the DNA in like a shaving cream can.
If Claude doesn't have a son named Remy, I'm flipping my desk.
Ugh. We spotted a group of 12 sauropods through the fence. We don't know what else there is. LeBeau has been cloning several species, but we think the others may only be in the embryo stage. Are sauropods meat eaters or plant eaters? Plant eaters. No use hatching predators until you have something to prey on. But don't think you can't get hurt by one of those plant eaters. They're 30 feet high, and they may not like strangers invading their habitat. Besides, there may be predators too. LeBeau may be further along than we think. Oh, these two know nothing. What do we do next, you wonder out loud? I'm pretty sure we can help you take one of LeBeau's speedboats, Rosanna says. The sea is calm. It should only be about a 20-hour trip to the mainland. What about you? What about you two? Don't worry about us. Arturo and I are determined to see everything that's on this island and get our own film footage. We're willing to risk our lives to do it. You can come with us if you want, and we'll do our best to protect you, but I think you'd be wiser to try to escape by boat. How is that not a decision there?
Wait, so the two adults are like, hey, kids, go find one of the boats the guys with guns are using and sneak and drive for 20 hours back to land on your own. You're capable. Okay.
Because they're trying to steal $1 billion. Get them kids out of here.
And film footage. But the boat is risky too, Todd says. If we get caught, we could die just as fast as if a dinosaur got us. I don't care. I want to try, Kira says. The idea of taking a boat and making a getaway appeals to you. You want to reach the mainland so you can call your family and tell them you're okay. On the other hand, you'd love to get a look at the dinosaurs. So if we decide to stay on the island, we're going to page 80. If we decide to try to escape, we're going to go to page 27. Curtis, you haven't started yet. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it sounds like Todd wants us to stay, and he's a fucking moron.
That's true.
So I would say we decide to try to escape.
Okay. Joe.
100%. I hate Todd. Let's get out of here.
And Jesse.
I don't like Todd, but I just don't want to agree with Kira every time, just because
because women are rarely ever right.
I didn't say that.
Jesse, I can't believe you said that.
So are you deciding to stay on the island?
Stay.
All right. I'm going to go stay just because it's fun and we can throw it to chat and I can go get another drink because I've gone through all of them. So chat, are we staying or are we trying to escape? Show us in the comments.
Escape or stay. Or smoke some crack.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't like Todd. I don't want to necessarily stay on the island, but I think trying to steal a motorboat and drive 20 hours back to mainland is beyond our capability.
All right, guys. We need your votes.
What?
Stay, escape, smoke crack.
Yeah.
Should we stay or should we go now?
Should we stay or should we go now?
I'm not that interested in dinosaurs, to be honest. I mean, maybe at this point, I haven't seen Jurassic Park.
Does the chat help us at all?
They said smoke crack.
Todd's a jerk.
Yeah, Todd's a jerk.
Well, Todd's a jerk. That means they're disagreeing with Todd. So that means we're trying to escape.
They Type that
Let the honey
before.
badgers have
Yeah, all
time.
right.
We need something to decide, so we're trying to escape. Todd the Jerk, 27. 276, yep. I want to get out of here, you say. I'll try to escape. Me too, Kira says. I guess I'll stay on the island, Todd says. This could be
Sweet.
the only chance I get to see a real live dinosaur.
Oh, we're gonna leave Todd.
Good choice, guys. Good choice.
Oh,
All right, Arturo says.
Darn.
Todd, you wait here with Rosanna. I'll take these two to one of LeBeau's boats, and I'll be back within an hour. You and Kira follow Arturo along a path on the crest of a bluff overlooking the sea, not even trying to hide from the patrol boats at all. You've walked about a mile when Arturo motions for you to stop. Wait here, he says.
Oh, God.
You watch while he climbs a little ridge and scans the area ahead with binoculars. After a second, he looks back and motions for you and Kira to join him. The sun has set and the light is fading, but from the top of the ridge, you can see a fortress-like building in the distance. Arturo hands you the binoculars and points to a large cage near the main building. In it, there are two animals about the size of cows, but they certainly aren't cows. Baby brachiosauruses, Arturo says. Just out of their eggs. It'll be a week or so before they're old enough to be released in the wild. It's hard to believe, even though I'm looking right at it, you tell Arturo.
They must have got bored
choice,
because they like
Todd.
gave us 3 pages in a row where we didn't have to flip anywhere. So
Yeah. I also like how they do this picture of us looking at brachiosauruses, but they don't actually show the dinosaurs. We just see the building.
Mm.
So
I'm just happy because Todd wanted to
Well-
see dinosaurs and we saw them first.
yeah, that's true. Fuck you,
And I
Todd.
love how Arturo knows that, you know, it would be a week before they can
they
get let out of their cage or whatever.
they've been watching them for a while. I feel the same way, Arturo replies, but we've got other things to think about right now. Did I go to the right page?
No.
What it didn't it? Wait. What page were we on?
28.
Somebody go back a second and tell us where we were at.
And I used to have to do that when I was like you'd hold your page for a minute.
Yeah,
54.
that's
Isn't that what I put?
54.
Okay. It's just a weird.
Okay.
Weird transition. It's the most, nothing weird has happened in this whole story. So
Right.
a little bit jarring.
Oh, it's hard to believe, even though I'm looking right at it. That's what we said. We were so happy about being away from Todd. Okay, and then Arturo feels the same way. It's hard to believe. But we've got other things to think about right now. He points to some coral jetties that have been built out into the water to form an artificial harbor.
I'm
Two
sorry.
boats-
I need some help on this one again. Coral jetties.
I assume they used coral to like build like a dock / harbor. Jesse,
Okay.
you wanna
Jetties are like arms that are like built out to like help like disturb the waves or whatever.
Okay.
so that's what the waves
live in the
break
desert,
against,
no
so it doesn't
help.
flow all the way in, so it keeps the area where the boats are tied
Okay.
up
All right.
calm.
Sorry.
There we go.
Sorry, I'm not a water guy.
It's a structure that projects from land out into water. It may serve as a breakwater, a walkway, or both.
Okay.
Two boats are tied up at a dock within the harbor, and one is an open speedboat, the other a small cabin cruiser. A man in camouflage gear is sitting on a bench near the dock. A pair
I
of
see
guard dogs, Dobermans, are stretched out nearby. They have two other boats, Arturo says, a big one that was sent to the mainland this morning for supplies, and the patrol boat you saw just after you landed on the island. The patrol boat circles the island 4 times a day and won't be back to the dock for a couple of hours. How can we get past the guard and the dogs, you ask? Arturo pulls a rifle from his pack. You're going to shoot them? Kira exclaims with a gasp. Arturo shakes his head. I don't believe in killing people or animals. This rifle is loaded with tranquilizer darts.
Of course.
The guard and those dogs will be asleep before they know what hit them.
Sweet.
I
Metal
won't
Gear.
kill them, but I don't have a problem maiming them.
Kira looks worried. How do you know what dose to give? Long experience with animals in the wild.
And people?
I killed like 50 animals before I figured it out.
Yeah.
I killed so many animals to get the dose right.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna give you a bad joke right now.
Oh, the guard gets the same dose as a male chimp. They're about the same weight. The dogs get 2/3 as much. Can you be sure you'll hit them, you ask? Oh, and we're going to 26 to find out if he can hit them. I love that science. Hey, it's about a chimp, right? Yeah, he looks like a chimp. I was a black beret sharpshooter, Arturo says. I'll hit them. Afterwards, we'll get one of the boats. The speedboat would be much faster, but I happen to know that it has a security alarm on it. That could cause trouble. It might be wiser to take the cruiser, but the decision's up to you. You're thinking about what to do when Kira whispers, I want to talk to you alone. We're going to talk about it.
Well, it's about time, Kira.
Kira leads you off a few paces. How do we know we can trust Arturo? She whispers. He may just be trying to use us. We have no proof that LeBeau will hurt us. Security guards doesn't mean he's a criminal, but will be criminals if we let Arturo tranquilize the guard. And I lost my place. And we steal the boat. We could end up in jail. Come on, kids. It's almost dark now. We can't waste any more time. Kira first looks down at the harbor, then at you. Taking a deep breath, she says, I don't want to steal the speedboat, and I don't want to get any closer to those dinosaurs. Well, what are you going to do? Arturo asks. I don't think anyone is going to hurt me. I'm just going up to the main building. What will you tell them about the rest of us? You ask her. We'll find out on page 47. It's funny, too, because even when there's not a choice, he writes the page as if there's going to be a choice. Oh, we got to the page with all the options. Look at that. She isn't going to tell anyone anything about the rest of us, Arturo says. He lays a hand on her shoulder. Kira, I can't let you do that. If you don't want to risk taking a boat, you'll have to come back with Rosanna and me and your friend Todd. You don't want them to know you're spying. Yes, that's part of it. But I also want to do what I can to protect you kids. I don't want to be stuck here alone. Please stay with me, Kira whispers to you. By this point, you're feeling very confused. You're not sure what to do. But Kira and Arturo are both watching you, waiting for your decision. All right, we got 4 decisions, guys. We can take the speedboat. That'd be 36. Try to take the cruiser, 39. Decide to go to the headquarters building, 73. And if we decide to stay with Arturo and Rosanna, we go to 59. So we got a
Which
chance.
one had the alarm?
The speedboat had the alarm.
The speedboat.
It had the alarm, but it was faster. Cruiser has no alarm and it's slower. Headquarters building, supposedly LeBeau is crazy. And then we also had the chance to stay with Arturo and Rosanna again. We can loop back to that. So, Joe, back to you.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what a black beret is. So I'm a little concerned about that.
They're like green berets, but better because everything black is better.
All right. Okay. I'm down with that.
All right.
Geez, I guess take the cruiser. I mean, me and Kira alone on the cruiser for however long, 100 miles or whatever they said.
Yep. All right. So
She doesn't want to get on the cruiser.
She doesn't. She wants to go to headquarters building. No means no, Joe. All right. So Joe wants to take the cruiser, and he's going to drag Kira with him.
Darts. Kira's coming with me.
All right. Jesse, go ahead. Why not?
I don't see. This is like those like personality tests or things you have to do when you like apply at a corporate office. I'm like, I wouldn't pick any of these options. Like none of these are choices I would make.
I know. I like that. It's funneling you guys, making you guys make a decision. All you guys that like to waffle on everything. Like, no.
Well, I can make a decision. These are just dumbass decisions.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we came here to take a boat to go back to the mainland, so I guess I'm with Joe and taking the cruiser.
All right, going the cruiser. Curtis?
Definitely not a speedboat because the alarm.
Right.
I don't know that I trust Arturo, so I think that one's out. It's between the cruiser and headquarters. I'm actually going to say headquarters. Which I know I'm outvoted, but we'll see what Dude says.
I was gonna go for the speedboat. I wanted to see what would happen with that crazy alarm. So that's 2 to 1 to 1. So we are going to 39. We are gonna take the cruiser. And as a kid, this is one of those pages where like I would bookmark this. So like if something went bad, I could come back and try one of the others.
Because it's one page that actually has choices, not like the other ones that you're just reading for 5 hours.
39. I also liked reading, so that's not as horrible as you make it sound.
Oh shit, I thought we were done. It's so close.
Come on, Arturo, you say.
Yeah.
I want to take the cruiser. You look at Kira. Are you sure you don't want to come? She shakes her head. Sorry, Joe. She bounced. Arturo tells her to wait for him. He fires his tranquilizer gun at the guard and dogs and leads you aboard the cabin cruiser. He starts the engine and shows you how to work the controls. Good luck, kid. He casts off the lines. You ease the throttle gently forward and steer the boat out of the harbor. When you're clear of the breakwater, you speed up. It's not until you've been underway for about half an hour that you think to look at the gas gauge. There's only a quarter tank left. You know that won't be enough to reach the mainland. You cut the throttle to save fuel. Not long afterwards, you hear the sound of an engine in the distance. A minute or two later, you make out the shape of the boat coming towards you. It's LeBeau's speedboat. The faster craft pulls alongside the cruiser. 2 men wearing military fatigues and armed with automatic rifles climb onto the cruiser. Take the boat back to the dock, one says. You turn the wheel. You don't need to point that gun at me, you say. It has to point somewhere, he says. The other man laughs. You realize you better do as they say.
I knew we shouldn't have taken the cruiser. You guys are terrible at choices.
Jesse did say he always died. When the cabin cruiser reaches shore, the 2 guards lead you to LeBeau's headquarters and show you into a large office in the rear. Here's the kid, Mr. LeBeau.
Nice.
One of them says. A man in his 60s looks up behind a large teak desk. He has keen blue eyes and wispy white hair. Sitting in a corner of the office, motionless but alert, are 2 Dobermans. Either the ones that were guarding the dock or some just like them. LeBeau motions for you to take a seat across from him. How did you get on this island? And how did you get a hold of my boat? He asks in a thick French accent that I'm not going to do because I don't do accents. You explain about the plane crash. At first, you don't mention Arturo, but when you realize that LeBeau will never believe you were able to take out the guard and 2 dogs on your own, you tell him that a man helped you. Who? I didn't get his name. LeBeau stands up, his eyes flashing. You're going to give us the truth. Do you want it to be painless or otherwise? Joe was disappointed, so I gave him my accent. The Dobermans are on their feet. Their eyes are fixed on you as they emit low, throaty growls. You decide to tell LeBeau exactly what happened on page 48. Did Curtis just, like, go to bed?
No.
All right. What made you think you had a right to steal my boat? LeBeau asked when you finish. I was scared, you say. Arturo said you'd kill us if you caught us. I just wanted to get away. I would kill you? LeBeau shakes his head. What an absurd accusation! Why should you trust someone who says such a thing? Because Arturo and Rosanna are scientists. How do you know this? Because they had cameras and camcorders instead of guns. That is a joke.
Had a rifle.
What about that rifle?
And they had khaki shorts. That's clearly scientist.
It only shoots tranquilizer darts, you say? Oh, really? Then why are one of my guards and two of my dogs dead? You are shocked to hear this. Could it be that Arturo lied to you? He shot the guard and the dogs with real bullets? It disgusts me, LeBeau continues. He picks up the phone and says something into it in French. Oui, 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 monsieur. Then he gets up and walks halfway around his desk. Jacques, he says to one of the guards, put this kid in room 12. I need to use a phone, you say? In good time, LeBeau replies. He motions to the and takes you upstairs and shows you into a small bedroom. We're gonna lock you in for the night. Knock on the door if you want to go to the bathroom. The guard says, wait! As we turn to page 100.
So, okay,
the
reason
this
I
is
was
turning
laughing
into a
so
real
hard is
like
how
telenovela here.
did we not notice those were real bullets? Have you ever shot something with a gun? like
Because we're a
that
stupid
tranquilizer
kid.
dart just exploded that dog. You know, like, how did we not notice that on the way to the boat?
Well, he did
I
say
feel
that
like we're
LeBeau was crazy, right? So maybe I do. Okay, so at this point, do we think that this guy really killed the dog and the guard?
I don't know. He's putting us
Okay,
in a nice
maybe
bedroom and
not.
not arresting us. Maybe. I don't know.
But he's also not letting us,
Yeah.
like, he's still
It just-
locking us up.
If he shot those with a rifle, we would have noticed. There's a chain of events with a lot of blood. You know,
Okay.
it just seems like we should have noticed that.
All right. Continue.
Sorry. The door slams in your face. You hear the lock turn. From somewhere out on the plain, you hear the bellowing of a dinosaur. You run to the window. It's nailed shut. You look out into the darkness. All you can see is the dim silhouette of the trees outside. You sit on the bed, dejected and confused. And just like we are. Was Arturo lying? Or was LeBeau? Maybe they both were. At last, fatigue gets the better of you and you fall asleep. When you wake up, it's broad daylight outside. Over the treetops, you can see the plume of smoke curling up from the summit of the volcano. The smoke looks denser than it did yesterday. You hear a low rumbling sound. Is it the volcano or the dinosaurs? As you stare out the window, you notice the wire mesh of the electrified fence through the gap in the trees. You try the door, but it's still locked. You knock, and a guard arrives and shows you to the bathroom. When you come out, he locks you in the room again, but returns soon afterwards with a tray containing a couple of mangoes, a stale bagel, and a cup of coffee. Once again, you hear the lock click in the door.
Normal breakfast.
What did he bring on the tray?
Mangoes.
Okay.
I was trying to
And a
sound
stale
more fancy.
bagel and a cup of coffee.
And a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I-
Stale
no,
bagel,
It was
fresh
the
mangoes.
that threw me off.
Yeah.
You eat the food the
Tuesday
guard has
morning.
brought,
For me.
but the coffee tastes bitter and you put it aside. You go to the window again. This time you notice that there's a vine growing up the wall just outside the window. It gives you an idea. If you can get through the window, you may be able to grab hold of the vine, climb down, and escape into the forest. It's a desperate plan. The vine may give away, and even if it doesn't, you'll have plenty to worry about when you're on the ground. And LeBeau hasn't really done anything to hurt you yet. If we decide to stay in the room, we're going to go to page 58. If we try to escape, we're going to 32. Curtis, what's Cheez-It say?
Well, I mean, inside the room, I'm safe right now. I'm not like chained up, like I'm locked in a room, but still pretty comfortable compared to, you know, I mean,
And
up until now, I've been.
You did steal a boat, so I mean,
Yeah, up till now, I've been lost at sea. I've been running from people with guns. There's dinosaurs out there. I think I'm hunkering down and just staying.
Okay. Jesse.
I mean, the window is nailed shut for some reason instead of, I'm assuming, whatever. I'm staying in the room.
Joe?
Yeah, we saw an electric fence out there, which is bad news. So I'm with the guys, man. I'm staying in the room.
We're staying in the room. 58.
You're dead.
You decide to stay in the room and take your chances with LeBeau. At least you're fed and cared for here. In fact, your bed is quite comfortable. And you're sure the next time LeBeau sends a boat or helicopter to the mainland, you'll be on it. A few minutes later, you're startled by a low rumbling sound. You spring up and look out the window again. The smoke from the volcano is even thicker. An acrid smell hangs in the air. About mid-morning, you hear muffled explosions coming from the volcano. Through the gaps in the trees, you see a large helicopter rising from the plain. Within seconds, the top of the volcano bursts open. The whole mountain blazes with fiery light. The helicopter swerves violently, then breaks apart in midair. Seconds later, superheated air traveling close to the speed of sound flattens the entire island, destroying everything on it, including you. The end.
All right. Wow. I mean, I still feel pretty comfortable with the last choice because, it said within a few minutes. So even if we tried to escape, we weren't going to make it in a few minutes. And at least we were comfortable for those last few minutes. So I'm good. And I got some coffee out of it. Please.
Yeah. Stale bagel. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Jesse, was that about
bagel
how
and
it usually
coffee
went
sounds
for
like
you?
a normal Tuesday for me.
I mean, yeah, but like way faster.
Yeah, that one was a slow burn there. So
It's kind of like, oh, you find yourself at the entrance to a maze. What do? I make a choice. Oh, you went home. It was all a dream. Everything is normal.
Yep,
It was just
I've
like,
done those, yeah. Ugh. See, now we'll have to do this again sometime. Next time we'll have to book one and kind of see how. Because I have a feeling that has to do with being later in the series where they're kind of dragging it out a little bit more exposition than I remember.
Yeah. One thing that was nice is that we were dying slowly, and at least we got to die quickly at the end. So
that's true. We didn't just like suffocate or something. It was just like boom, gone. So yeah. Rest in peace.
The thing that I liked about the Choose Your Adventure Batman book is that even when there was a lot of reading, you're still fucking Batman. So that's cool.
Wait,
you got the fuck Batman in that book?
Well, yeah.
That doesn't seem appropriate.
Something like that. Well,
I gotta imagine too that Batman didn't have very many like bad endings. Like,
yeah,
I doubt Batman never got incinerated by a volcano.
No, but I think there was. I think I remember at least one where like Robin got kidnapped or something like that. So
I could see like Joker getting away.
Yeah.
Like that's the bad ending.
All right. This week in theaters?
Go for it.
All right. Random
Joker
number
got away.
generator.
That's just a Christmas song.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
1985. Here we go. Put on your whatever time travel devices. And
I was 5 years old. My parents hadn't been divorced yet.
I am in my mom's belly.
There you go.
I'll be born in April.
Well, that's not how babies work.
All right. We are going to March 8th. And here are your top 10 at the box office. Number 1, you have got Witness. Looks like Harrison Ford, while protecting an Amish boy who is the sole witness to a brutal murder, and his mother, a detective, is forced to seek refuge within their community when his own life is threatened. There you go. That's number 1.
Somehow that description made it sound even more boring than it was watching it.
Number 2, Beverly Hills Cop. This is Eddie Murphy. A freewheeling Detroit cop is pursuing a murder investigation. He finds himself dealing with the very different culture of Beverly Hills.
Oh, so it's the same movie. He's just in Beverly Hills instead of Amish country.
Yeah. Then we've got The Breakfast Club. Judd Nelson, Emilio Estevez,
We all know what
Molly
this is.
Ringwald, Ali Sheedy. 5 high school students meet in Saturday detention and discover how they have a great deal more in common than they thought. Basically, they all hit their parents. Next, we got A Sure Thing. It looks like John Cusack and I don't know who else. Walter Gibson is a university freshman going through a dry spell. His old buddy arranges a sure thing for him in California. Gibson and his classmate Allison then take a long road trip out to Cali and both foil each other's plans. All right. Next, we have Missing in Action 2, The Beginning. Prequel to the first Missing in Action, set in the early 80s. It shows the capture of Colonel Braddock during Vietnam War in the 1970s and his captivity with other American POWs in a brutal prison camp and his plans to escape. Looks like Chuck Norris and a bunch of other people. Then we have The Killing Fields. No idea who's in that. The journalist is trapped in Cambodia during tyrant Pol Pot's bloody Year Zero cleansing campaign, which claimed the lives of 2 million undesirable civilians. Anybody know who's in that? Dooch left the room.
No,
Everybody else is looking confused. No. Okay. Next, we have Vision Quest. High school wrestler in Spokane, Washington, has trouble focusing on his training regimen when a beautiful young drifter takes up temporary residence in his home. I can't place a name on that dude. Anybody? No. All right.
What was the question? I just got back.
Who's in Vision Quest?
Gotcha.
I don't remember that dude's name. Okay, next we have A Passage to India. Cultural mistrust and false accusations doom a friendship in British colonial India between an Indian doctor, an English woman engaged to marry a city magistrate, and an English educator.
This is in top 10?
Yes, there's only 12 movies at the box office this week.
Vision Quest is Matthew Modine and Linda Fiorentino.
Gotcha.
Madonna is in it as singer at club. So
okay. Then we've got 1984. In a totalitarian future society, a man whose daily work is rewriting history tries to rebel by falling in love. No idea who's in that. And
I also like that they waited till 1980.
And we lost Dooch. He locked up. You there now?
I'm
There
here. Are you here?
Yeah, you locked up for me for a second. Might have been me. Might have been you. I don't know.
Who knows?
Rounding out the top 10, we've got Amadeus. The life, success, and troubles of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, as told by Antonio Salieri. The contemporaneous...
Salieri.
Salieri. The contemporaneous composer who was deeply jealous of Mozart's talent and claimed to have murdered him.
Is that what? Does that have the song in it?
Like Rock Me Amadeus?
Amadeus.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He's got the best laugh in that movie.
Holy shit, this is a terrible fucking...
Nah, it's not that bad.
There's 2 good movies on here.
We will start. Oh, I gotta scroll to the top. Wait.
That is the top.
Did I sort it? Wait. No, that's not the top because there's a 1. Yeah, like clicked off the top. The top one is Witness. It wasn't showing that for some reason. All right, we'll start at the bottom with Jesse. Work our way up. Give Dooch time to think since he left the room. Jesse, what are you seeing?
The Breakfast Club. I've seen a bunch of the movies on this list. Well, several of the movies on this list. As much as I like long, dramatic, historical movies, I don't think I could sit through Amadeus in a movie theater. Breakfast Club. It's enjoyable. It would have been cool to see it on the big screen.
I've heard Vision Quest is pretty good. I have not seen it, but I do intend to see it at some point. I do like Breakfast Club, but I think I'm gonna go see Beverly Hills Cop. I think that gives me the laughs and the action and just the kind of the big screen experience I'd want to see. So I'm going to Beverly Hills Cop. Joe?
Yeah, the Breakfast Club is actually really good, and I'm tempted, but Beverly Hills Cop is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm with Curtis. Beverly Hills Cop.
And the Dooch.
Yeah, I'm still gonna stand by that. This is a terrible top 10. Sure Thing, that is a good John Cusack movie. Definitely not his best. Breakfast Club, always a classic, but I'm gonna join you guys for Beverly Hills. That is clearly the winner this week.
Okay. And we've got Sean in the chat, and he also says Beverly Hills Cop. So,
well, it looks like you guys are traveling back in time with a pair of Dune fleshlight buckets and enjoying Beverly Hills Cop together.
Yes, we are.
Says the man who actually owns the Dune bucket.
I do not.
What's
you
Falcon
do not?
What's that?
Curtis, what's the Falcon and the Snowman? I'm sorry, that name just has me really curious.
It is a true story of disillusioned military contractor employee and his drug pusher childhood friend who become walk-in spies for the Soviet Union. And it looks like Charles Bronson, maybe.
Sean Penn and Timothy Hutton.
Oh, I was wrong. Okay.
The name sounds more fun than the movie. Okay.
Yeah, it does. It's like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, only even worse.
It's what it's who Falcon hung out with while Bucky was still frozen. So
yeah.
It's the prequel.
It's who Bucky was hanging out with while Falcon was giving speeches at inappropriate times. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Forgot to look at the weeks. I know Beverly Hills Cop had been out for a while. 15 weeks, still number 2.
It was number 1 up until last week, and then Witnessing it swapped this week.
Killing Fields, 19 weeks. Which one was that? Oh, that's that's kind of a artsy-fartsy movie. And Amadeus, 25 weeks, still in the top 10. It's a Jesse type movie, like people being oppressed and stuff. I'm surprised he didn't go. I'm on it. If I'm being honest, that's got Jesse written all over it.
The funny thing is, though, is that Mask, that's week 1. I was only in 4 theaters in its first week.
That would be why.
Crazy.
Oh, not the same Mask. This is the one with
that's the one. Yeah, with the kid. Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, it was not the Jim Carrey 1990.
I was thinking of the Jim Carrey one.
What, 94?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
No, I mean, just 4 theaters isn't a whole lot.
No.
Killing Fields is based on like true stuff. So like I wouldn't necessarily call it artsy fartsy. Like it was stuff that happened not too long before it got made.
Understood. But it's one of those, like, you know, I don't know. You got to be into that, like watching people be oppressed. That's a Jesse thing.
I didn't choose it. I didn't pick it.
I'm just saying that's kind of artsy fartsy to me. It's not exciting. It's not like you're going in that you're going, fuck yeah, you know. It's not funny. It's not
ethnic cleansing. Let's go.
It's not a banana in the tailpipe. It's not like kids hanging out at detention and playing pranks on their principal. You know, it's artsy fartsy crap. So
it's no Dune popcorn bucket.
No, I don't think they had a Killing Fields popcorn bucket. That would be inappropriate. Even for Jesse, that's inappropriate. All right. What else, guys?
And Sean was smart to stay away tonight because he is now the sole surviving member of OffWorld, as we were all incinerated by a volcano.
That's true.
Yeah.
Remember us.
Through bad choices.
Because he didn't have to meet Todd. Freaking Todd.
That's true too. I wonder if you think Todd got off the island?
No.
Yeah.
They had
Todd was
their
hanging
own
out
boat.
with Rosanna.
He
But
was looking
Arturo-
for dinosaurs and blew up.
Rosanna was
done.
waiting for Arturo to come back, and they got incinerated too. I guarantee you.
I don't know. They had their own boat stashed away, so they didn't have.
They were there to
steal one.
film stuff. If they had their own boat stashed away, they would have taken us.
What if Todd died, but before he died, he got to ride a dinosaur, and so it was like the best death ever.
Good for Todd.
Yeah.
Why are you
See,
trying to
and then-
ruin this?
And he
for me?
only got to experience that because he didn't stay with the wreckage.
Okay.
That's true. Todd always
There you
makes
go.
sense. See, this is why I'd always go back and start again. This is how they get you because you're like, what happened over there in that
Yeah.
alternate?
30 minutes
timeline.
after we sailed away from the wreckage, a plane flew over the wreckage and saved anybody that was left that popped up after we took off.
I'm
It's like
I'm a
the
little disappointed in Kira that she didn't
Yeah.
get on the boat with us. Yeah, that was a bummer.
yeah, she was a hoe. It's kind of like that ending in or there's like a boss in one of the Metal Gear Solids that you can just like sit there and wait for him to die of old age. Like I forget which one it is, but yeah, kind of same thing. If we just stayed,
Revolver Ocelot?
huh?
Is it Revolver Ocelot?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've never actually played it. I've just heard about it. That
Yeah, you can like
if you just
save-
sit there
you
and
can
wait,
save-
he'll just
well, you
die.
can save the game and like come back like a week later and he'll be dead.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
But
All right.
I will admit that was a lot more fun than I was expecting.
Yeah.
It was
And-
it was fun, like Jesse said, in a Mystery Science Theater way.
yeah.
Yeah,
But as a kid,
Yeah.
you're just eating that shit up. Like, I mean,
No.
that just,
As a
yeah.
kid, I
Well-
was eating the Batman stuff up, but not this.
I'm sure you were eating out Batman. Yes.
Yes, I was.
it's like
Absolutely.
watching B movies that are so bad that they're good.
Yep.
You know, that's what that one was like. But
You
Only
could have done
because-
He-Man and the Memory Stone. That would have been
That-
fun.
That's a good idea.
it was only fun because it was the four of us doing it though. Like if I was reading that book by myself, I wouldn't have got very far.
Right. Absolutely. And actually, the He-Man one, that's another one that's got like a battle mechanic in it. It talks
Yeah,
about
you
the
got to
first
have a
page.
six-sided die.
Yeah. So maybe Legends of Grayskull will do that one someday.
Ooh, call me in.
Sounds like a good idea.
Put me in, coach.
Way to get Curtis to come back to a show that he doesn't like being on.
Exactly.
Curtis doesn't like being on any shows unless
He
Yeah.
loves being on
Yeah,
every show.
It's really hard to get me on a
Every
show. I'm very picky about the shows that I'm on.
But he's more angry about being on his own shows and the tangentially related shows than he is like about the random one.
I show up 30 minutes early just to prep, just to sing the 8 Mile song.
No, you had some conversation with somebody.
Yeah, I was having a conversation. So what else, guys? We got anything else to talk about?
Seems like stuff happened.
Do we want
Very
to
busy week.
do an
Yeah.
event horizon? Do we have anything coming up that we're looking forward to? Any movies or
I-
whatnots?
Yeah.
Don't know what you guys already talked about, so
We didn't talk about upcoming movies.
I have a
Joe's got
show
something.
that I'm very much looking forward to that's coming up.
What's that?
The Fallout TV show, April 11th. They released a few more trailers. It looks so good. I mean, the trailers always look good, but still.
Where's that streaming?
Amazon.
Okay.
they do good stuff.
So would you say that's
And
the 411?
just-
I think Joe might be just lagging just a bit. But
no, my brain was lagging.
His brain was lagging. Gotcha.
Bad joke.
So for those of us that haven't played Fallout, like, is that a first person shooter type game, or what's the background of Fallout for those of us that don't know?
The modern ones can be first or third person. You can switch back and forth between the two. I played all of them. The original were kind of top angle RPGs from the 90s. The first one came out, I think, in 98. The original one was actually kind of inspired by Mad Max and another game called Wasteland. It's post-apocalyptic. So the cool thing about Fallout, what really draws me into it is so World War II happens the way, it did in our world. But when they drop the nuclear bombs, they figure out ways to use nuclear technology to really enhance life, like make robots and nuclear powered cars and just all kinds of fantastical things. But culture doesn't advance. So even though you've got all of these like advanced technologies, everything has like a 1950s aesthetic to it. That's really neat. And then the main premise is that nuclear war happened. China and the United States were fighting, and they launched the nuclear missiles. There was this company called Vault-Tec that had an idea that this might happen, so they made these vaults, underground vaults that you could buy a place in. So that way, if the war happened, you'd get underground and survive. And then there's been quite a few games, so there's different stories and stuff as to every main character has their own reason, like they were a vault or vault dweller. The chosen one was a descendant of a vault dweller. In Fallout 4, you're frozen, so you wake up and it's been 200 years. So there's a lot of different stories, but the idea is it's a nuclear wasteland, and the show is a woman who grew up in a vault, and some of the vaults are very safe and organized, and she wants to go and see what's out there, and doesn't really have an accurate idea of what's in store for her out in the wasteland with mutants, and it's just not a kind world. So
it's like exploration and survival, not like a certain mission or something goal in mind, but just basically surviving.
No, there's missions too. Every game has like a plot line that you kind of get involved with, and you can usually choose in the games. You choose who you want to side with. There's factions. Like one of the cool things from the trailer is that the Brotherhood of Steel is in it, and they're kind of a techno cult. They believe that advanced technology was the reason that the world got destroyed. So they think the only people that are worthy to have technology is them. So they'll go around and take advanced weapons and things, high science from other people and keep it themselves to protect us for our own good. But they also have really cool. They also have really cool suits of power armor though, which is awesome. So
that's interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, check out the trailer. The trailer looks really good to me, anyways. It's something I'm really looking forward to because I'm a huge fan of the games. I've played all the games and absolutely love them. So my hopes are high on this one that it'll be along the lines of Halo, that they'll just take a great video game property that I love and make a good show out of it.
I mean, the video game property ones have been doing pretty dang good lately. The Last of Us really took off, and obviously, you got the Halo that we've been talking about that's been doing well, and so and it's interesting for me, like, because I didn't play a lot of these games, so like I never played Last of Us, I never played Halo really, so I'm enjoying the shows without having any idea of the background of them.
Right.
And then you've got people like you that have actually played these games, and then you get to see kind of what the differences are between the game and the show.
Yeah, and it's cool being a super fan. Like right here is a statue, from a Fallout statue. So like I'm a super fan of Fallout. So very much looking forward to it. And Amazon's been doing pretty well with their shows too. They put the resources into them. It seems like that they've been good. Seems like decent quality. So I've got high hopes for it, especially for that post-apocalyptic stuff is cool anyways. Like I've watched some of the worst movies that are post-apocalyptic and just enjoyed them because of the setting, just horrible B movies. So
gotcha.
And if you are interested right now, in anticipation of the series coming out, Amazon is giving away Fallout 2 on PC for all of Amazon Prime members. So,
oh wow,
yeah,
Fallout 2,
it said, yep.
I don't know if people can even get it to work on modern computers. That game is really old. Came out like 2000 or 2002.
It's what it says. Free copy of Fallout 2 on PC. It ends April 10th, but once you claim it, you can play it whenever. So, like, you own it after that.
It's an amazing game. One of my favorites of all time. So,
well, I think it's time for an impromptu movie review from a member of Curtis's family. My daughter just got
Curtis?
No, my daughter just got home. She went out with her boyfriend and they went to the movie theater. And of course, they got to see the #1 film at the box office right now, Kung Fu Panda 4. So what were your thoughts, Kung Fu Panda 4?
It was very obvious.
You're not even going to let her come on camera? Like,
come on camera.
How do we feel about this boyfriend? Are we cool with him or do we need to rough
He's
him up
all
a
right.
little bit? Right.
He's all right, but his name is Alex, and I call him Gay Alex.
Okay,
so,
I like that.
So like anytime that somebody mentions his name, they'll say like, "Yeah, Alex, come over." I'm like, "Who?" And they're
Who?
like, Gay Alex." And I'm
like, yeah. Okay.
But anyway, go ahead.
This movie was definitely targeted towards the younger generation, which I guess I should have went into it knowing that better. But I thought that they would try to target their other movie.
So it was too childish for you.
First of all, it was only like an hour and 20 minutes, which is like the shortest movie I've heard in a while. And then second of all, it was very, how people make fun of some Marvel movies for being like, he's right behind me, isn't he? Like very corny. And it was very much like that.
Oh, all right. So you should have saw Dune 2.
I don't want to sit in the movie theater for 3.5 hours, but
you want like an in between, an hour and 4 hours. There's got to be something in between there.
Yeah.
So even though you were seeing Kung Fu Panda, did you guys pick up the Dune popcorn bucket?
No, no, we did not.
All right. Well, there you go. Thanks a lot. So there you go. Impromptu movie review of Kung Fu Panda. Good for kids.
Now I want to watch Kung Fu Panda 4.
Not for older people. So
and yeah, Curtis, if you ever need us to take care of Alex, just.
He's a good kid. Yeah. He's a good
kid. You never know what will happen.
Yeah. He came over, helped us pull up some of the laminate flooring for the plumbing work, and I think he's gonna come work on our stairs tomorrow. He's a good kid. So
all right.
What else? Anything else that you guys are looking forward to? Any movies coming out or
there is that what's the name of it? Ryan Reynolds and John Krasinski, they've got that Imaginary Friend movie.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
That's not the one that came out this week.
I just know it's coming out.
Oh, there's one called Imaginary that's a horror movie that came out this week that I want to see.
No,
and...
if. So it looks a lot of fun. It's
and then there's a Godzilla one coming out in a couple weeks, right? Godzilla and Kong.
Yeah.
The Roadhouse remake is coming out March 21st. That
was a garbage movie to begin with.
Whoa.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is coming out March 22nd.
How do we feel about Ghostbusters?
I'm excited.
I didn't think that I had watched the new one.
Yeah.
But apparently I did, but I fell asleep is what the kid said. I don't remember it.
Pretty forgettable. I was not wowed by Afterlife like apparently everybody else was. So I have like it wasn't bad, but it also didn't do anything that I wanted it to. So I don't know. I don't have high hopes for Frozen Empire. I'll see it eventually, but I'm not like I was excited about Afterlife, and then that was just kind of like it's there. So
well, I think I just found a winner. April 19th. I've not heard of this film yet, but coming out April 19th, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, a Guy Ritchie secret agent film. And it's based on a book. It's about Winston Churchill founded secret World War II force that took on the Nazis. And it's led by Henry Cavill, Alan Ritchson, and many other recognizable faces, is what it says. That sounds like a good cast. I like Guy Ritchie film. It's got Jesse's Nazis. I mean, that sounds like winner written all over it.
It sounds like The Man from Uncle 2, but we can't do Man from Uncle anymore because that other guy got in trouble. So let's do guy went this freaking nuts.
Yeah, he went cuckoo bananas.
Army Hammer, that's who it was.
Yeah, you went cuckoo bananas, but I'm all in for first of all, I love Guy Ritchie films. There's not too many of his films that I don't like. And then Secret Agent film, and you got Richardson and Cavill in there. That sounds pretty cool. But I haven't even seen a trailer for that yet, so I might have to look that up.
I try not to
see
trailers.
Awesome.
Oh, is it? You saw it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What about you, Jesse? You got anything coming out that you're looking forward to?
Well, I was just going through the March stuff, so it was Imaginary, the Ghostbusters, and Godzilla Kong New Empire or Hidden Empire, whatever the hell it's called, are the ones I was looking forward to in March alone. So
I will say there's that new movie on Netflix, Spaceman. Terrible.
I've heard good things.
Oh, it's so bad. It is so fucking bad.
So Jesse will love it then.
No, I think Jesse would hate it. In fact,
I'm not going to watch it. There's a spider in the preview, so I'm out.
Yeah.
There's a spider.
I do want to watch Damsel though.
I don't know what that is.
Heard that one.
Netflix just came out today. It's Millie Bobby Brown. She gets offered up as she gets married off to some royal. It's like a fantasy medieval movie. She gets offered up as a bride, and then they're like, oh no, you're just really a sacrifice for the dragon, and she gets thrown into a dragon. So it's kind of like that one came out a year or two ago where the girl fights her way down the tower through the whole movie.
Yes,
don't recall.
I can't think of the name of it.
Steven
Everyone ranted
on one of the my wife is going to kill. I thought it was fun. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, over the top action movie, and I think people were just mad because a girl was doing it. But I liked it. I thought it was fun.
You know what she's really good in, that Millie Bobby Brown, is that Enola Holmes. I think they got 2 of those out now. Though that's really good. I like that.
Yeah, those were good. I like the first one better, but the second one was enjoyable as well.
Yeah.
The Princess. That's what it was.
The Princess. Thank you.
Yeah. May 24th, Furiosa is coming out. That should be fun. Really? I think that'll be good. We'll see.
I think Fury Road was an entertaining movie. I think it weird people jizzed all over their pants too much in excitement over that movie and made it way bigger of a deal than it should have been.
I didn't even see the Fury Road.
It would have been nice if Mad Max was in it.
So
that's not called Mad Max. No, is it?
What'd you say, Curtis?
I said I didn't even see the popcorn bucket for Fury Road, so that's weird about the jizzing in the pants. No, I really did like Mad Max Fury Road. I thought it was really good. I enjoy that quite a bit. But like Joe was saying about the, that Fallout, like anything post-apocalyptic, I'm all about. Like I just love to see like the possibilities of. I mean, it's like this past week when what was it like Facebook and Instagram were down for like a couple hours and people were losing their damn minds. Like, you know, it's just we've gotten so soft as a society that I think that like a lot of these folks that think that they would make it in a post-apocalyptic world like would have no chance. And I include myself in that. I'd have no chance whatsoever. Yeah. So, but yeah, I love watching those kind of things.
I didn't even know this stuff was down until someone texted me asking me for your phone number, Curtis, and I just didn't have a chance to send it to him. And then like an hour or two later, they're like, "Oh, never mind, Facebook's back. I got it."
Yeah, that was Van. He messaged me and he's like, "Hey, I think that we all need to exchange phone numbers in case this ever happens again." Like, because there's so many purple gang emergencies that they have to reach me. They cannot wait 2 hours.
Can't they just light the purple gang signal?
Yeah. Throw some purple up in the sky and I just come running.
So,
but yeah,
other movies I'm looking forward to are Rebel Moon Part 2. I want to see if that pays off or if it's as.
That's coming out this year?
Yeah, it's coming out in April.
Oh, really? That's pretty quick. They must have. They film them both at the same time.
No, that's been the plan all along. Yeah,
I mean, because that's pretty quick back to back. Okay.
I mean, there's no theatrical run, so they don't have to pay for distribution of it. Fall Guy, I'm kind of iffy about, but potentially looks like a fun action movie.
Is that based on the series?
Loose, you know. I think it's just.
I mean, as much as
the interpretation.
Yeah.
As much as any of
Ryan
those
Gosling and Emily Blunt.
Are.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
That looks good.
Yeah.
I like all
Ballerina.
of those newer, Planet of the Apes movies. I saw that a picture of that ballerina. What's that supposed to be about? Do you know?
It's like in the world of John Wick with Anna de Armas.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, there's that one in, what is it, 3, where they go into the ballet where he has to like earn his way back to the family or whatever.
Yeah,
Bad Boys 4, which I didn't even know was coming out, and they just finished wrapping, is coming out in June.
That's the one where they go after Chris Rock, right?
Yeah. Quiet Place Day 1.
I saw that they're making a new Crow movie, which that doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, he looked
Western with Kevin Costner, Horizon, an American Saga Chapter 1, June 28th.
Oh, tell Matthew Rodriguez he'll be watching for sure.
It's Warner Brothers, multi-film Western saga, has been in the works since '88. Interesting.
Quiet Place Day 1 in June. I've liked those movies. Yeah, I like those movies.
Do you intentionally not pay attention to me when I say things?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a Kevin Costner one, Horizon, an American Saga. Yeah, interesting.
I can't believe they're remaking Twister.
Yeah, that's
like that.
Yeah,
I loved Twister, but it absolutely did not need a modern update. Deadpool 3.
Well, neither does Roadhouse.
I didn't say it needed it. I just know that's a big one on the horizon.
What? There's a Beetlejuice 2 coming out?
Yes.
Borderlands.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Oh, Borderlands. So that's another video game property. The little bit of the trailer that I saw looks like it could be solid.
So tell us what the Borderland universe is about, Joe.
They actually have really good game trailers that are worth watching, but it's far future. There's like I'm not a huge fan of the games, so I don't know the details like I do on my favorites, but there's like vaults on other planets that like treasures are hidden in, and they're vault hunters. You basically go and fight gangs and monsters and everything, try to uncover these vaults and make it rich.
So is it like sci-fi?
Yeah, it's sci-fi. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's got kind of a, it's almost like sci-fi Old West feel ish.
Mm.
I mean, there's like, advanced technology and things like that, but it's got kind of a, to me anyways, a little bit of an Old West feel to it.
It's got Kate Blanchett in it. Jack Black, Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, Ariana Greenblatt, Florian Munteanu, and Haley Bennett and Edgar Ramirez. It says the games take place in a post-apocalyptic world full of mutants and guns, and Eli Roth is aiming to capture that aesthetic.
Interesting.
There's no name for it yet, at least on the site I'm looking at, but there's a Don't Breathe, the filmmaker that made Don't Breathe, which was a really good home invasion movie, is doing a Alien in betweenquel taking place between Alien and Aliens. So I'm intrigued to see, because I only saw the first Don't Breathe, where these kids break into this guy's house and he's blind, but he has really good hearing. So it's all filmed in really weird, intense color, because it's just blue light or whatever. And it's the guy that
I
plays
believe that's called Artsy Fartsy.
Thank you, Joe.
It's like a horror. It's like a horror movie. You can't just call everything artsy fartsy that you don't like.
Artsy scaresy.
Real quickly though, did you say between quill?
Yes.
In between quill.
Is that a real thing, or did you just make that up on the spot?
Yes.
Because
I've heard it before. Maybe I've said it before. I don't know, but I did.
If you made it up on the spot, I'm very impressed, because I really like that term, but I've never heard it before.
No, actually, you know what? I think I'm
Jesse
going to give credit
for everybody
to,
else.
even though I've never watched it, I remember seeing trailers for the Lion King
1.5.
I think he was, and now he thinks you interrupted
Am I lagging?
him.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah, you're lagging.
Lion King 1.5 had a preview, and I'm pretty sure Timon called it the in between quill. I think that's where I got it from.
Okay, I like it.
The official term is an interquel.
A what?
No one says that.
An interquel?
Interquel. Yes.
Okay.
I like in between quel better though.
If you guys like Western, I don't know. Are you guys into Westerns? Is that kind of like anybody here?
It depends. Like
I live in the West.
Sometimes.
Gotcha. One of my favorite kind of Western series, I guess you would call it, is on Amazon right now. It's free. I believe it's free with ads. But it's Hell on Wheels. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it is. I really enjoy that. It is really good. I think it's there's 5 or 6 seasons. It looks like 4 seasons. Anyway, it's about basically they were building the train, the railroads to go west, and kind of that kind of journey, and dealing with slave labor and with fighting off Indians and Native Americans, or whatever it is we're calling those folks nowadays. But yeah, it's very interesting, because there's a lot of stuff that it covers in terms of the politics of that time period, in terms of building the railroad to go west, that I wasn't aware of, and kind of how they were basically planning the railroad to go through these certain cities, and those cities would become big important places that they really weren't before, and they would get overrun with whorehouses and everything else to try to entertain the people that stopped at those cities. But yeah, it's a really interesting show, and the main character in there, I know this isn't a great reference for him, because I'm sure he's done better things, but it's the guy that was in he was in the Inhumans, and he was also in the Doctor Strange movie as Black Bolt.
Anson Mount.
Yeah, he's great in it. Like his character is so good. I watched that series. It's one of the first series that I watched all the way through, and I immediately watched it again. Like I was just so enthralled by that character that I watched the series back to back.
Anson Mount was also in the Britney Spears movie Crossroads.
Okay.
He was in Mr.
Strange
Right.
New World.
In Her Shoes.
Yes, he is in Strange New World. He's the captain. Yeah.
Captain
Urban
Pike.
Legends Final Cut.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that show, like I said, if you are into Westerns, it's got an actual historical vibe to it. There's a lot of things that I checked from the show that I looked up to see, like, hey, did this really happen? And there was a lot of stuff that was factual. But it's just very interesting, and I like the characters that they built in it.
I
Fun
also
fact.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead, dude. I can wait.
All you, Joe. Hit it. Fun fact.
Well, so the railroad that you're talking about actually went through the town that I live in. The government gave all that land to the railroad company, that was building the railroad. They divided it up in like a checkerboard. So they were selling off every other square. The ranch that I live on, my grandfather bought it from the railroad. It was one of the checkers.
Oh,
that
crap.
That they were
Nice.
selling
That's
off
awesome.
from the land that they were given by the government. So up
Yeah.
until about, I want to say about 15 years ago, they finally sold off the rest of the land, except where the actual railroad is. But the property that's adjacent to where I live, we called it the railroad side of the road for like the entire time that I was growing up. So that show could be relevant to my real life.
Well, that's awesome.
We also have a Chinese museum in town from that has artifacts and stuff from the Chinese workers that worked on the railroad.
Right.
Yeah.
They're coming through.
Well, and apparently there were two railroads that were both trying to go like cross country at the same time, and they were racing to see who would get to the West Coast first. So there's like a lot of politics and other things going on, and yeah, like I said, I highly
John
recommend
Henry
it.
in
It's really good. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's a classic railroad. Man versus Machine.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've seen it, but now that I see, because it hasn't been on anything. It was on Netflix a long time ago, is where I saw it, and then they took it off, and I hadn't found it anywhere streaming. And when we started talking this, I looked it up, and it said that it was on Amazon. So now that I know it's there, I'm probably gonna binge that again. So
Watch it again, right?
Yeah. Cool. Well, do we want to do a lightning round?
One quick thing,
Oh, go ahead.
real quick, Joe. When I sent out your package this week, I know we've sent each other stuff before, but when I looked at the tracking, I didn't realize you are almost like just straight west from my location across the map.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's hardly any north or south deviation at least when I punched it in that tracking app the other day.
Yep.
I was like, that's crazy. Like I figured you were, severely south, but no, it's almost straight west.
Yeah, we're actually considered northern Nevada, so and yeah, it's a tourist town too. We have Lovelock, Nevada, the last round courthouse in the United States. Kelsey Grammer got married here because of that. I mean, nobody got to see him, but we heard about it after.
Steph, it's Hell on Wheels on Amazon.
She asked that a long time ago.
Oh, sorry, never mind. Then maybe you're asking something else. All right. Yeah, that is like 14 minutes ago, but I don't know. I talk a long time. Lightning round.
Lightning round. Let's do it.
So, Joe, you're up first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. This one is because these guys have been talking about this property nonstop lately.
Oh boy.
G.I. Joe. It has now had 2 pretty much panned movies. Do we but the figure line, was it 3? Really, Jesse?
The Snake
They
Eyes
made
one,
3 of those pieces of okay.
They made 2 in the same universe, and then they did the Snake Eyes one.
Oh, that's right. I completely blocked Snake Eyes out. That was fucking real easy question. Do we even try going back to this movie wise, or do we just let the figures continue to be this amazing force that they are? Joe, you're up first.
Okay. Yeah, I think if they did one and actually treated it like a serious movie and not a cartoon show, that it would do well. So I think there's a lot of potential there. They just don't take advantage of it.
I'm going to go the opposite of what Joe said, and I think that there would be a much greater chance of having an animated series or movie than live action. Kind of similar to like what they did with Kevin Smith and the Motu Revolution. I think live action, it just, I don't think it translates because they try to make it serious and it just doesn't work serious. So yeah,
you need that bit of fantasy, that whimsy, that yeah.
I'm gonna say yes, because spoiler alert, they set it up at the end of the last Transformers movie.
Okay.
So you just do whatever Michael Bay tells you to do.
No, okay, that one wasn't a Michael Bay one.
Probably. I don't even keep track.
No, they clearly set up.
No, I know. Yeah, I heard
G.I. Joe in the end.
Is that the Beast Wars one?
Yeah, and with the way, like, that movie's not perfect. Like, I'm not a huge Beast Wars fan. Like, so I'm not upset about the things they changed. I'm aware of things they did different, but the way the sensibility and like just the humor and stuff in that movie, I felt was the right tone. It wasn't so Michael Bay. It felt more like the Bumblebee, but like somewhat better, somewhat worse. You know, it was okay. And I think if they're going to introduce G.I. Joe into that version of the world, it has that sense of that women, you know, I think it has that sense of a little bit off serious reality to make it work.
Okay.
And they have the guy that plays, I played Mike in the Jack Ryan series. I think his name is something.
Yeah, he probably does have a name.
I'm sure his name is something. Yes.
No, he plays Mike November, and his name's Michael Kelly. You've seen him, and I'm sure you've seen him in stuff. But like he's kind of the guy that leads into the G.I. Joe side of the stuff at the end of the movie. I was like, okay, he's great, like because he's got that.
That's like the
this is ridiculous.
Is that like the little skinny bald guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me personally, I think they should ditch the live action, stick to animated, and bring back Cobra La because that shit was awesome. So.
Bring back what?
Cobra La from the animated movie back in the 80s.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Similar vein, Disney has been for a decade now, feels like at least. They've been taking their classic animated movies and adapting them to live action. What animated Disney movie would you like to see them convert to live action next?
The Black Cauldron.
Okay.
I don't know. I like fantasy stuff, so
I didn't think Jesse would be that upset about that, but
I just don't want them to adapt that movie. I would like to see a live adaptation of that book, but not that movie. Sorry, go ahead, Joe. That was your thing.
Oh, I haven't seen any of the live action adaptations of the Disney movies, like none of them. So I don't really
I've seen
have
a couple.
I don't really. I can't say for the quality of them or anything. I don't know. I guess I prefer the animated versions, to be honest. But yeah,
that is a correct answer there. Curtis?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the live action ones, but the one that I would say would be interesting to me to see would be Hercules. And not in, I mean, obviously we've had several live action Hercules movies, but I mean that particular version of Hercules that's in the Disney, just the more silly, goofy, yeah, that kind of take on it. But in live action, I think would be interesting to see. So as interesting as none of those will be interesting, but I think that's the least non-interesting, I should say.
Yes.
So.
I've gone cross-eyed.
There you go.
I don't want them to do any more live action remakes. There's been a couple I've enjoyed, but most of them, even the ones I've liked, just make me want to watch the original cartoon more. Lightning round. I'm not lightning. Tarzan.
Okay.
Not a new interpretation, just straight up that animation one, like Curtis is saying, like, you know, if they want to expand a couple things here and there, like other ones they've done, that's cool. But I enjoy that. I enjoy that movie a lot.
And that's the thing about the adaptations is they do pretty much just take the animated movie. Like they don't do any sort of a twist on it or anything. So,
well, unless they change the race of one of the characters.
Well, yeah, but I mean, story-wise, the beats are all there. Like they don't, like Jesse's saying, like if they're gonna take Black Cauldron and turn it into a live action, they're just gonna take that movie. They're not gonna take the opportunity to go back and make it more faithful to the book.
I like the Black Cauldron movie.
That series needs to be adapted into a 5-season TV show to go with a season for each book.
That would help.
Cool.
Yep.
Lightning round.
Lightning round. Mine is The Rescuers, just because I hear nobody talk about that, and just to get attention back to it would be great because I love those movies.
Never heard of it.
That's the one with the Siamese cats, right?
No, that's Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, Rescuers is the two mice who work for the rescue organization, and they go and help kids in danger.
Who was the? Yeah,
all right.
I remember watching it.
It's Bernard and
Bianca.
Yeah, the villain. Yeah. I remember the heroes.
In the first one, it was that lady with the red hair and like the alligators dressed on the riverboat and the alligators. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the second one was in the outback. It was in Australia, and it was the poacher.
Rescuers Down Under. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. But yeah, Bob Newhart as Bernard and Zsa Zsa Gabor as Bianca.
Yep. Like those are great movies. That's a good choice because then you could do the CG animation on the mice.
Yep.
And the animal characters. Yeah, that could potentially be a lot of fun. Good call, Matt.
Thank you. Every once in a while, I get them. And that's it. I had 2 this week, so we're gonna go with 2 lightning round.
That's bogus, man. You got to just come up with one off the top of your head. We can't do 2 lightning round. It's always 3. You got to do a third.
We chose our own.
Give us a third bonus one. Come on, just come up with something off the top of your head.
If your choices were to go on a date with Curtis or get incinerated by a volcano, which
I got one. Let me throw one out.
Go on, Jesse.
Wait, I was going to pick Curtis.
If you're
wait, who's starting? Is it still Joe starting?
We'll start with you since I'm asking it.
Gotcha.
So, in the vein of Masters of the Universe Turtles crossover, what 2 toy lines and what company would you want to be behind the actual production? If you could have a crossover of any 2 lines of toys,
a crossover show or a toy line?
No, toy like the Masters TMNT. Where they merge into the 2 universes. Yeah,
gotcha.
Out of toy lines. Actually, what I'd love to see is actually take Masters and G.I. Joe and merge them together. I think you come out somewhere around New Adventures, but I think it could be a lot of fun. And actually kind of, I think I want Mattel to be in charge of it because that way you get some like big, beefy, roided out Joe members.
It's like more Masterverse line, Origins line, like kind of style.
More Masterverse, but
Okay.
like so then I want to see the Joes come and get like like big goofy action feature and weapon gimmicks and stuff,
Okay.
So yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. It's over to you now, Joe.
Mine is going to be kind of boring, but it's actually one that I thought about before. I think Masters of the Universe and Thundercats. I just know that when the classics line was coming to the end and Mattel started making Thundercats figures with that same buck, that I was super jazzed about that, because they were they were just gonna fit together. They looked like they belonged together. So, my imagination went a little wild, and then it lasted like for 3 figures and they stopped. But maybe it was a little more than that. But that was something that I thought was a really cool idea, because it was the exact same bucks, so they just looked like they belonged together. So that's my pick.
I like it.
Nice.
I'm probably to no surprise for Jesse. I am going to go Battle Beast and Cosmic Legions.
Okay.
I feel like that's a good mix. I would love to see some more anthropomorphic characters within the Cosmic Legions, and I just think that would be a good mix. So
in not Super 7. God no. You're saying 4 Horsemen are making the line. They're 6-inch scale. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I like it.
Mine would be, and this was just the first one that came to mind, is Star Wars and Mask.
Ooh.
Okay.
Good.
In the Mask style. So it's all about the vehicles, it's all about the accessories, and you've got your heroes and stuff, but now they're in new uniforms, like the Empire. I can't remember what the bad organization in Mask has merged into the Empire. And
is it
Venom?
Venom?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got the TIE fighters. They can take their helmets off, but like something happens, like the TIE. It's not like full transformation, but a little play feature.
Right.
You get the heroes with their helmets. You get maybe redesign some suits, upgrade some of the Mask characters into the Star Wars stuff. But yeah, that'd be. I think that would be a fun.
So would
just getting vehicles again would be dope.
Would Darth Vader have a helmet that goes over his helmet?
He'd probably have like a different, like a robot face. It's like a something underneath that's not just.
I was hoping it'd be the helmet, but then he has like a bigger helmet that goes over that helmet.
I don't want to go Spaceballs with it.
So you wouldn't just have like the old scarred up white guy underneath?
Nah.
Yeah, maybe it's all like wires and just like the technical stuff underneath. It's not the full face.
Gotcha. I love it.
Cool.
Good call, Jesse.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that idea. That was a good one, Jesse. And you know what? You didn't incorporate Nazis. I'm proud of you. So
look, I know you like to make jokes and just keep running with them, but you really got to stop saying that I like Nazis. Like,
no, you don't. You definitely don't like Nazis.
Okay,
You like movies about people going against Nazis.
Yes.
I mean, who doesn't like that?
I'm not a big
Nazis.
fan,
I don't want to see a movie where people are going for with the Nazis.
No, I don't want Nazis in my movie at all. Like, I think that Captain America: First Avenger is probably one of the worst Marvel movies. Like, and I usually don't say that because I know people come after me for that. But I can't stand that movie. I think it's terrible. So,
okay,
yeah, it's not my thing, man.
I respect your wrong opinion.
Yeah.
You want to hear a crazier take?
Sure, go ahead.
I dislike Winter Soldier more than I dislike First Avenger. So.
That's pretty bad. I love Winter Soldier.
Dude,
my epic.
It is definitely towards the very bottom of my MCU list. So,
yeah, that is kind of a hot take.
Yeah.
What about you, Jesse and Joe? Do you have a movie that you dislike that seems to be universally loved, or at least pretty loved?
Wow.
Mad
Fourth
Max
lightning
Fury
round.
Road.
We're breaking.
Mad Max Fury Road. Okay. What about Joe?
I don't like Dune.
The
Which
remake
one?
or the original?
The original, which
Yeah.
I tried to read the book, didn't like it. Tried to watch the movie, didn't like it. Have no interest in seeing the new ones because I just don't have an interest in the property. Some of my
Interesting.
friends are huge fans of that property. Like one of my
Right.
best friends, just like crazy for it. I just never could get into it. It's just not my thing.
I tried watching the original,
can't
and
even
it was the original seemed pretty rough, but the new one I really enjoyed. I haven't read any of the books. I didn't even know there were books. So
Maybe I was too young at the time and just couldn't get into it. I could give it another chance, but I probably won't.
Not trying to twist your arm, Joe, but like the cinematography, the acting, the directing. If you don't like the world, that's totally fine. But like the way if you liked Blade Runner 2049 even at all,
That was
if you saw
the
that
new
one,
I
yeah,
didn't watch it.
okay.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't like that one. I'll be honest. I did not enjoy that one the first time I watched it because I was trying too hard to figure out what was going on. But then after it finished, like every time I've watched it since then, I've liked it more and more and just try to get into just the cinematic storytelling they're doing and not focus so much on the story, if that makes sense.
is that Ryan Gosling? That's in
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I'm usually
But
pretty good at shutting my brain off and just enjoying a movie for what it is. I don't really overanalyze movies unless they're really bad. So I don't watch a lot of TV or movies anymore. Like I've said it a bunch of times, but that was something that I did with my kids. They don't do that anymore. And so I don't really do it. But my girlfriend really wanted me to watch a movie with her. And she's like, there's this horror movie called Thanksgiving. And yeah.
Did you watch it?
Oh boy. That's the movie that she picked. Yeah.
That
I made it
movie's so
15,
ridiculous.
Maybe 20 minutes. It is so bad. I couldn't finish watching it.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. It is really, really bad. Yeah.
I wanted to see it because I knew it was one of those ones that was in the, what was it, that it was one of those fake trailers that they put in the Grindhouse movie back in like 2009 or whatever, the Tarantino and it was like Planet Terror and whatever the other one. It was one of the fake movies in there, and they decided to make it a real movie.
Yes,
Planet Terror, yeah. And I saw it, and I was like, I got to go see this Thanksgiving weekend. Like it's like the only time I'm ever gonna want to watch this movie. And I got to the end, and I was just like, is anybody here planning on watching it?
No.
Curtis?
No.
Okay.
God, no. I couldn't. I had to stop.
The end
that bad.
This is gonna give you guys nightmares, I hope. The blonde rich stepmom. I don't know if you even got that far to meet her. Like the wealthy guy's like the guy who runs the store.
Maybe.
So there's like the Walmart type store, and he's running a sale. His wife, she ends up getting cooked and served to everybody tied up at the table like a turkey. So like she's got the little ruffles on her kneecaps or whatever, like the turkey have the little florets or whatever on them. And it's like, I was like I didn't like her. She seemed like a nasty character, but like, I was like, man, that went really hard.
So they pretended that she was Mbira Jambalaya from Cosmic Legions.
God damn
it.
No.
It didn't have that ironic feel at the end, like thinner,
No. It was one of those things that's like, oh, they literally show you the bad guy in the first 5 seconds of the movie, and it's like no, duh. Like, and it didn't feel like you were supposed to know. It was supposed to be like this big reveal, and it just fell flat. Yeah.
The the movie that I will can never watch is Tusk.
Nope.
Yeah,
Oh.
I can't even
Nope.
Yeah, like I
didn't.
could. Yeah, that's just not for me, man.
Body horror stuff freaks me out. I'll never watch that.
That's not for me, man.
I'm not even going to say the name of the other one.
Human Centipede. I got you, buddy.
Screw you, Matt.
Yeah, I just nope. I don't know who that's for, but it's not for me.
I'm gonna have to go watch 3 hours of just funny animal videos and failed videos and laughing goats to get that out of my mind.
He's gonna watch that duck video again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
About their corkscrew wieners.
Bringing up
exploding
corkscrew penises on some species of duck.
Cool.
All right.
I really
that's
wish
OffWorld,
there's a video game called Dead Space that's a horror video game, and I wish they would do a big budget movie about Dead Space. It is so good. Like that. The game itself, I mean, it's a horror game, so it's a scary game, but there's like an actual great story layered into the game, and I think that would be a fantastic movie. It's one of my favorites. Even each mission in the game or each chapter has a title, and if you list them all straight down, the first letters is actually a spoiler or a hint to the ending, which I thought was really neat too, because it spells something out. And but that is just a fantastic game with a great story. So, but of course it's mutated monster people, body horror kind of
as you
stuff.
do. Yep.
Terrifying too.
I wish that that Blizzard would have waited to do a World of Warcraft movie until now, when all of these video game movies and series are being so popular. And it's not that I thought that the Warcraft movie was bad. I actually really enjoy it. I think they did the orcs really well, but I also think that there's much more compelling stories in that universe. Like anybody that's played that game knows that I understand it started with orcs and humans. That was the original Warcraft before it was even World of Warcraft was orcs and humans. But the Lich King storyline, Illidan storyline, there's just so many more compelling stories than what they went with. That I think and so many race possibilities to go into. I think it would be a huge hit now, but I wish that they would but I don't see it getting greenlit because the original one just did not do well at all financially. So but I love it. I love the music. I love the orcs. I love the that's one that I could just sit there and watch over and over again. But
yeah, I love that movie too.
It just wasn't really well accepted. So
I thought it was a movie. It's one of those weird ones where I watched it and it's it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad movie at all. There was nothing that really was wow, you got to watch this. It was just kind of for me anyways. I didn't play the games though, so I don't have any type of connection to the characters, but it was well, if somebody was I'm going to watch it, I'd be all right, cool, but it's not on my recommend list. Must
the
watch.
Movie is kind of if you knew about Star Wars and they only made a movie about the Imperial officers and the Rebel officers.
Yeah, that's Andor.
But it's a movie. If you do a Netflix series or a show, a series for Warcraft, and you can get. I'm just saying, there's so much that they tease in that movie. You got the little Murlocs, you get the little hint of the dwarves, the hint of the Draenei, and all these other things. that like it never goes anywhere with those things. And I
Yeah.
understand they were setting up the main conflict and how all the worlds crossed over and stuff, but it was just like
It was kind of a
series would be
yeah.
good, or set further into the world where things were more established.
Yeah, I would love a series, and I think that it was a good setup if they were able to get more movies out of it. But the problem is that not enough people went to watch the first one so that they could get more movies out of it. So, you know, I think if you were only going to get one shot at it, you should take your best shot. You should say, okay, let's look at World of Warcraft and pick out what we think is our best, most compelling story, and let's make a movie of that. And then if we get the chance to make more, we can go into other things. Even if you go and do a prequel or do a, you know, whatever, you can do other things, but tell your most compelling story. And that's not what they did. Like, to Joe's point, like he said, they didn't have a connection to the characters. Like, I knew the characters and I still had no connection to the characters because there was not any characters in that movie that were really compelling. Like, there was nobody that you really were like, oh yeah, I feel for this person, or I'm excited for this person. I think cinematically it was done well. I think that the CGI was done well. The costumes were done well. The music was awesome, but the characters were not really developed well. And there was nobody in there that was just, you know, gave a killer performance. So yeah, it is what it is. I love that game. I love that world. And I really wish that they would do something to do it justice, but I don't think it'll ever happen. So.
I will say Paula Patton as Garona was the highlight of the movie for me, though.
She was the best. Yeah.
As far as characters and performances,
especially when
that's
she
not
would
true.
just randomly say shit like, "He wants to lay with me."
Yeah,
you would not survive it. Shit like that.
I'll take that back. I think Toby Kebbell, who played I'm drawing a blank on the main orc.
What's his name? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank too.
He plays dang it, man, I'm drawing so many blanks tonight. Koba in the Planet of the Apes, the second movie, the new second movie. I think that motion capture he did for that was really good. And
Durotan,
yeah. Sorry, guys, we're talking about yeah. We're turning Matt and Joe into Sean on Clone Wars episode right now.
No, you're good. I was actually going to see what Warcraft came out against. Like, what was the other movies in there? And
oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's
not much.
2016, right?
Yeah, June. So you got like Finding Dory around that time, Central Intelligence, X-Men Apocalypse, Captain America Civil War, but that was 7 weeks before. So that just,
I mean, it doesn't sound like anything that should have been beating it.
Yeah. The Turtles Out of the Shadows, the sequel.
X-Men had probably a pretty big couple weeks when that came out.
Yeah, that came out 2 weeks before it. So I mean, Now You See Me 2 and The Conjuring 2 are what came out the same week. Like, yeah, there's not much there. But it dropped off pretty quickly. So
that was in June, you said?
Yeah.
Did great in China, which there were talks that if it's going to continue is going to be almost all like Chinese cast and everything. But
in its third week, it dropped from 5th to 11th. So it was out of the top 10 by third week.
Yeah. It was number 3 out of the gates behind Now You Can See Me and Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Independence Day came out, the sequel that I still haven't seen.
That was awful.
Was it? Good thing I never saw it then.
Yeah.
Finding Dory. Yeah, Finding Dory and Independence Day. Like, but that's not, I mean, it should have held on better. That's got to be just word of mouth, just trashing it, and everyone just stopped going.
Yeah. I don't know. Anywho. I think
wait, one more.
Oh, go ahead.
Star Trek, it just popped in my head. If anybody's a fan of the modern Star Trek stuff, Season 4, they announced, is going to be the last season of Discovery.
Yep.
It's going to be the end of the series. So,
Of which one?
Discovery.
Discovery? I don't think I've seen that one. I've been watching Strange New World. That's good.
So,
Is
Strange
Discovery
New World's actually launched off of Discovery.
Okay.
Pike is their captain in the second season.
Mhm.
The second season's the best season. It's actually really good.
Gotcha.
But I like the show. It's a little disjointed at times, but I thought it was pretty solid Star Trek. It just they're canceling it.
Okay.
I wish they weren't, but they are. I'm enjoying all the new Star Trek properties coming out. So
another one I mentioned these guys in our chat is on Netflix right now is Resident Alien with Alan Tudyk. I know Len was talking about it today on his show. It's really good. First 2 seasons are available on Netflix, and then the 3rd season is in the midst right now. So that's on Peacock, and I think they're like 5 or 6 episodes in. But he's playing an alien who's pretending to be human, and he just does a fantastic job. Like, he's so fucking awkward that it's absolutely perfect. Like, if you just right. Picture like an alien trying to act like they're human, he plays it 100% to perfection. So
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right. Well, we lost Dooch. I think we're down to 3 viewers. I think it's probably time to close out the show. So appreciate those.
I forget that people are watching sometimes.
Yeah. Appreciate everybody that stuck with us through that Choose Your Adventure that was really more Read the Adventure. And until next time, we'll see you on the OffWorld.